stroller.
It's out of control. In the morning.
Why did anybody put it? Dogs they need to walk.
I agree. But these seem to be quite happy in the stroller.
I'm happy about that. Detention. You there?
Yeah. Can you not hear me? Hello.
No, he's faded there.
Hello. Can you hear me?
What? Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you said, are you there? And I'd already talked. Can you hear me? Can you hear me good?
Well.
We'll be talking about that little difference later today. That's a tease.
Well, tell me.
No, it's a tease. That's a tease.
Tease, schneeze.
All right. Let's get this thing going.
That lady! Valkyrie!
It's
Yes, everybody, it's that time once again. We are about ready for the best podcast in the universe. There's your bat signal. Go ahead, retweet the tweet, boost the toot. No agenda show. 1,000. Perfect. Yo, jihad. What do we say?
Right there.
Okay.
Got a call.
A call?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A call from Bank of America.
About your mortgage.
No, they were telling me I had the opportunity if I push one right now to get a 0% interest on all my credit cards.
Wow, for how long?
Apparently forever.
Really now? But if you miss one payment, it's 25%?
They didn't say anything. I just told them to fuck off.
Oh, okay. Good. Well done. Now, if you could talk into the microphone for a moment.
Yes, they get to the mic. In the process of cleaning the grimed out lenses of my glasses.
Yeah.
I bought some of those little wipes everybody uses.
I don't like those little wipes.
Well, they're better than no wipes.
I got a little thing that I use.
Oh, yeah, what?
It's a cool little pouch that has the cloth in it, so you pull it out, but it's attached so it can't fall out, and you shove it back in.
It's like the keys that are attached to your belt?
Yeah. Yes, that's the idea. Exactly. Because eventually you're...
the wallet. My favorite's the wallet.
Because eventually you're looking for the wipes. Like, where's the damn wipes? I can't find the wipes.
I guess that could be an issue.
All right, can you just give me a quick read? Your little...
What would you like me to read?
Oh, something entertaining. You just sound a little fuzzy. I want to spruce you up a little bit today.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got back from work tonight and found a note from Charlie's daughter that he had already... Oh, okay, we don't need to read that depressing note. Thank you for your outstanding product. My donation, though seemingly coming from me, is in fact being financed by my mother.
Okay. All right, you're good. You are good. And if you can just turn your speakers down a little bit.
What?
Just a tad, so it doesn't break through the noise gate. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, that's the wrong way on the knob. 1, 2 is fine. No, a little more. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Still hear it. 2, 1, 2.
Now I can't hear you at all.
Well, they did make an invention for this.
Yeah, well, I'm not using them.
I know.
This has been working fine for like 5, 6, 7 years.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden.
Yes. No, not all of a sudden. I will reiterate, when we got Clean Feed, which is much better quality, that's when it started to happen. So it's okay. I'll make you sound shittier. It's fine. That'll be good. 2. Okay. So I've... Can you talk so I make sure you come through the gate now?
First, please forgive my douchebaggery. I set up auto paint. Oh, this is a good one. I got way too many notes to read because a lot of them just didn't come through or whatever. I was looking for one guy's note, and he never sent a note in. But meanwhile, I found all these other notes.
Are they donations for today?
A lot of them. A couple. Yeah, actually, this one is for sure.
Okay.
This is the screwiest one.
Well, we're ready to go, so we can read it in the donation segment.
Let me get ready. Let me clear my throat. All right. Hit it.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, October 8th, 2020. This is your award-winning Give My Nation Media Assassination episode 1284.
This is No Agenda.
Swatting flies and broadcasting live from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier, Boston, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it's cooled off for some unknown reason, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
It's called climate change, okay? It's not an unknown reason. It's climate change.
Climate change is getting colder.
Yeah. Hello, what? I'm sorry. Crazy snow and stuff, that's always climate change. So,
oh, yeah, that's true.
So I think you're in the middle of climate change.
In fact, the traffic jam was climate change the other day.
Yeah. Oh, man. it was interesting. There was a whole, people are starting to recognize the Build Back Better. Outstanding journalists like Matt Taibbi have just now figured it out. He was like, oh my God, who plagiarized, Boris Johnson or was it Joe Biden? And I learned that if you go to any one of them, but I like bingit.io, the search engine, and you just type in Build Back Better.
Bing it.
Just Bing it. You type in Build Back Better. It shows you the first 2 pages are all the clips we've played from all these globalist elites. And so that went viral, man. Everyone's like, oh, look at this. Look at this now. Yeah. Build Back Better. I even got a supercut.
Oh, that's what you're leading up to.
Well, it's all
right. I'm game.
Well, just before we get into the debate, it'll be fun.
4 sets of priorities can guide the response to build back better and achieve the sustainable development goals.
So the vice president took the approach of saying, we're not just going to try to plaster over the cracks and put some props in where it's falling apart. His approach was to say, we're going to build it back better. We're going to take an economy that had a lot of problems and we're going to make this economy work better going forward.
Okay.
That's the right approach.
Good news.
This election is about building this country back better.
Oh, thanks, Cam.
And that's what Joe and I will do.
So Africa can build back better, greener, more integrated, and resilient.
Rekindle the Canadian economy by building back better.
Canada.
We need to seize this moment to be creative about how we reposition the national economy.
Resilience is so critical, and I think takes on even broader meaning when you have a pandemic.
But this moment also gives us a much greater chance to be radical and to do things differently, to build back better and to build back bolder. And so we will be doubling down on our strategy. We will double down on leveling up.
But this election is not just about him. It's about us. It's about you. It's about what we'll do. Over the last 2 weeks, I've shared my agenda for economic recovery. I call it Build Back Better. Because we can't just build back to the way things were before. We have to do it better.
It's gotten so crazy. Remember we noticed that Kamala and Joe hadn't really done a lot of Build Back Better. Now they are doubling down. They're saying it everywhere. And they coerced this poor lady, Lourdes, into writing a song for them.
We're gonna build back better our democracy and restore humanity.
You got to see the video, too. It's great.
Oh, my God.
Build back better, baby. People think this is an end of show makes a joke, but no, it's not. It's not. Anyway. So that's what we're up against, people. Build back better.
Well, they stopped talking about it, and then all of a sudden they're doubling down. I think they had quotas.
I definitely had quotas. Someone put out the call. Hey, those boys
you guys aren't keeping up.
Those boys with no agenda are noticing you're not your quota's down. You got to keep it up. Definitely.
This is nothing less than pathetic. And then the Lord's song.
It's quite interesting.
Well, that's like these idiots are naked ad. You've seen this.
Oh, my God. I thought of clipping it, but when I listened to it. Oh, you did? Let's play it, because...
I have the whole thing. I mean, it's kind of long for... You'd think an ad, could they keep it at 60 seconds? No. It actually goes about 150, but I cut it off at 137 because they just played music at the end. But you get the idea. You have a bunch of these arrogant celebrities, supposedly naked. I doubt it. What was the point? They didn't show them naked. They were from the waist up with the topless. And you get this.
Yeah, what's it titled?
Naked.
Oh, gee.
I'm naked. I'm completely butt-ass naked.
I'm naked.
I'm like naked.
There isn't a man behind me. These are my hands.
Why you want me to be naked?
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Ruffalo, put your clothes on.
To be honest, I wish I could cover my hands with my boobs, but here we are.
I'm here to talk to you about voting. Did you know that ballots could...
Dude, did you see, because Chelsea Handler, who you just heard, she flashed him for a moment? Did you see that?
Not on the clip I had.
Oh my God, it's bigger than her head.
Be naked? And if you don't do exactly what I tell you, your ballot could get thrown out.
This is my ballot. Just got it.
First of all, when your ballot comes, you're supposed to read the instructions.
Read and follow the instructions that come with your ballot.
If they say to use a black pen, use a black pen.
I know that's like literally the least sexy thing a completely naked person could say, but
But I have crumb like can of Pepsi. Is problem?
Number 2.
In some states like Pennsylvania,
There are 2 envelopes you have to stuff your ballot in. Otherwise, it's called a naked ballot. Naked ballots? And you don't want to have one of those.
Number 3, mail your ballot in as soon as you can.
Don't sit on them. Get those things out ASAP.
Oh, brother.
Like now.
Do it!
get it in as soon as you can.
I gotta get my ballot to the motherfucking post office. Let's go.
Please vote.
Take your clothes off and vote.
Vote, vote, vote.
Everyone's voice matters in this election.
Please vote. America needs you.
You know, the celebrities are making huge mistakes. Hollywood is so dead. I mean, besides this, which no one cares about, everyone is sick of them, sick of their homes, their bitching and moaning. Now they can't get enough attention, so they have to be naked. Oh, gee, that's really funny. We haven't seen that done since, I don't know, the 70s. Oh, yes, I'll be naked, then people will pay attention to this ad. Now we've got all these table reads. So you get a bunch of actors and the top-notch A-listers, and they'll do a Zoom call and they'll read the script to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Now Dazed and Confused is going to be done in Texas here at Austin. Of course, it was shot in Austin. It's like,
well, I agree 100%. These guys are a-holes. But let's get back to this interesting point here, which is that this is like a lecture, especially aimed toward Pennsylvanians, about this is telling the Democrats and these voters that they're extremely stupid and they can't follow instructions. So we have to tell them, follow instructions, naked ballot. You got to put this envelope in that envelope because you're too dumb to read anything. You're morons. And this is an interesting contradiction to the old thesis that, the Democrats are all the educated people. They're the smartest people in the world. They got the big degrees and they know what they're doing. And they're so educated. And the Republicans are dummies. I want to go right to the debate with this one clip. And tell me this isn't talking to an extremely illiterate, stupid population to even bring this up. This clip is called Debate Kamala Defined in Debt.
Trump owes and is in debt for $400 million. And just so everyone is clear, when we say in debt, it means you owe money to somebody.
Now, let me just be clear.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I'm speaking. It's when you owe somebody some money. If it's a creditor, then someone owes you.
So this is their educated electorate. This is the Democrats' example. They have to tell people how to put an envelope in an envelope, and they have to explain what debt means. Because none of their voters know what debt. I never heard of that.
All of them are in it, so I don't know how they could not have heard. Oh.
I found it to be depressing.
Well, let's talk about it.
That's what they're doing. The Democrats have got the dumb voters.
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to be dumb not to know what debt means and have it explained to you on national television by a vice presidential candidate like that.
All right, let's get into the debate. Top line, what did you think?
I thought it was a couple of problems. I don't know that there was a clear winner. I thought there could have been. Pence had passed over a number of opportunities to throw a zinger in. Refused to do it. He's very genteel. She was, short of her cackle. She didn't use it, which was a smart move.
No cackle.
That was a very big plus for her. But she had her sneers and her smiles and her rolling her eyes and all the rest of it. The big, grin, the shit-eating grin. She does that. She lied. just blatantly lied.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, let's just lie.
Well,
she brought in the debunked Putin's bounties on the soldiers, and she went through a long explanation about it. Very fine people showed up.
Let's just stop for a second at the very fine people. During the presidential debate, Biden said this, and Trump was like, "Yeah, just play the rest of the code." He didn't really counter it, and I think we discussed that. To me, it looked like he was setting some kind of trap. And here you have Kamala saying, because it is the reason why Joe ran is because of this lie, and then Kamala did it. And Pence pushed back a little bit. It's like, no. But it's only 1 minute, and because everyone says it's debunked, but no one ever plays the clip again except us. So let's just do it one more time for those who are wondering what those nutty guys are talking about.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly. Now, in the other group also...
All right, so that's basically the quote. What I was expecting is Pence to say something like, well, if you want to see exactly what the president said, go to debunkedbullcrapquote.com. I mean, that's all he had to do. It was so simple to set that up.
It's weak.
It's weak. Now, I'll say, I was impressed. I expected Pence to be much worse.
Oh, he's steady. I'd never expected him to do bad. He was, I just think that he missed opportunities, and he overran the time too much for no good reason. It wasn't as though he had big punchlines to deliver and he was being stepped on. No, he was just dragging his ass.
What I realized is he was doing his radio guy thing. Because if you listen to his old radio talk shows, he's talking like that, and he will just keep talking and talking. He drones on a little bit, and he just keeps going, and he feels like he can just complete his point even if someone else is talking right through him. So, yeah. But Kamala, I think she had some real problems. Like when the Supreme Court came up, and she's like, here's what she said.
I'm so glad we went through a little history lesson. Let's do that a little more.
And then she came up with some complete non sequitur Abraham Lincoln example, which didn't really work. It wasn't clear, and she was just blah, 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 rattling it off and trying to get it out. But most surprising is the reaction I've seen from people is, oh, it was boring. There was no fireworks. Nothing happened. Oh, yeah, we can't have it. It's never any good, is it? We get fireworks, and we're all pissed.
That's the funniest thing. It's like there was no fire. Wait, you were just moaning and groaning about Trump and the Biden debate being too argumentative.
Yeah.
And now it sucks.
I found that to be very interesting. I was like, well, so after the debate, and I know you have clips, and I have one or two. I immediately went to see what was going on. Fox were the first, I think, to make the joke about the fly, which was fantastic. That was an outstanding moment. That fly was actually, he was stuck. He
got stuck in his hairspray.
Yeah, he could not leave. And I wonder if it wasn't a miniature drone, because that was so well timed. Wow. so well done.
Theremin.
No, that was just off the hook there. And I was thinking, what do you say if you see that? And obviously, the director saw it. The booth, everyone saw it. I mean, what do you say? That thing was on there for a couple minutes. I mean, at a certain point, someone's got to say, excuse me, Mr. Vice President, we can't focus. There's a fucking fly on your head. I think that it's the moderator's job.
Well, I don't know that she saw it. I mean, she's...
Oh, the booth saw it. Oh, everyone who was...
I didn't see that she even had an IFB.
What? course she had an IFB.
I don't know that.
Oh, yeah, of course. She had one of those
she's a rank amateur. She's never been in broadcasting before, as far as I can tell. I've never seen her before.
Yeah.
And it's possible I got to put that thing in my ear. I'm going to get the COVID.
Uh-huh. Now, did they bring up Trump not denouncing white supremacists? Was that a question?
I don't know that it was no, it was not a question. But it could have come up in the conversation. The things kind of got, bounced around. I mean, looking at the bingo card, which is very popular.
Yes, good work again on the bingo card. Although, let me be clear, should have been on there. I don't understand why he didn't put that one on.
Let me be clear, should have been on there.
Yeah.
It wasn't, there's nothing I could bump off.
Okay.
I could have bumped off a couple of things that, in hindsight, you can say, well, she never said this ever. But, yeah, let me be clear. She says that a lot.
And
I'll put it
yeah.
What?
I was going to say, kudos to our producer who made, I think, 30 different versions in a PDF.
Yeah, so that you could actually play a game.
Rotate it, yeah. That was cool. That was very well done. I like that.
Play with the family. There was one moment, I don't have a clip of it. I kind of lost it in the shuffle because I watched the whole thing, then I went back to the clips. And it's where it was a bomb. It dropped, just bombed out where actually Pence called Joe Biden a plagiarist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't have that one, but I thought it was funny. If nobody else did, the audience didn't seem to.
Well, the audience.
Nobody knew what they were talking about because no one's brought this plagiarist thing up for years.
Man, listen to this. So, just to give you a contrast with debates in 2016, and at the same time to parade Chris Wallace in his "You've never denounced white supremacy" or white supremacists. This is from 2016. The difference with a crowd, of course, it's Trump in this case, but the difference with the crowd is, you just go like, wow, this feels like a century ago.
Mr. Trump, Romney also talked about your position on race and the controversy over your failure to denounce David Duke on Sunday. You have repeatedly disavowed him since then, but I'd like to go deeper than that. What are your views on the Ku Klux Klan and white supremacists?
I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke. I've been doing it now for 2 weeks. You're probably about the 18th person that's asked me the question.
Yeah, you're so right. It was a complete replay of that playbook. And Chris Wallace was the guy who asked him the question 4 years ago.
No, the playbook's in play. I had another couple of examples of out of the blue, some screwy things that are on the Trump rotation, TrumpRotation.com.
Yeah.
They're on there from 4 years ago. That rotation list is from 4 years ago.
Yeah. With
very few additions. And they're bringing every one of them back up. They're bringing each one of them back. They really think that their playbook in 2016 would have beaten Trump, but Hillary was a weak candidate. So they bring in the powerhouse Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, you don't have to use the old John Cooper, these old hacks from the 2016 election that failed, and use their exact same playbook. This is the example of doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, and expecting a different result. Mm-hmm.
Expecting a different result. Okay.
Well, clearly the people think that their audience or their voters are stupid, as we point out right at the beginning, because we've heard all this. It's truly deja vu. It's like, what? You going after that again? I don't understand it. There was something in this debate that I did not like, and that I felt was suspicious, and it just and multiple people were texting me right away saying, "How did that work?" So this was Susan from USA Today explaining part of the rules.
One note, no one in either campaign or at the commission
or anywhere else has been told in advance what topics I'll raise or what questions I'll ask.
Well, I have the clip here. I think this is what you're talking about. 13 seconds. How does this work if she didn't know, if Kamala Harris did not know what the next topic was?
Pulling back regulation.
Thank you, Vice President.
Energy, fighting for free and fair trade, and all of that's
thank
on
you,
the
Vice
line
President
if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
You know, that's a good segue into our third topic, which is about the economy.
It's a great segue. How does she know it was a great segue?
Well, you know, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I mean, yes, and a lot of people wrote me, so, oh, look at this. How does she know that it was a great segue if she didn't know what's coming next?
And by the way, that was not a great segue.
No.
It was not a great segue.
No, it wasn't a great segue. It was just a segue.
Yeah.
But Kamala throws that in. I think it's because she's one of those little yak types, and she doesn't even know what a segue is. I am convinced she doesn't know what a segue is.
She knows what debt is.
Well, kind of, yeah. She can explain it at least.
Yeah.
But I don't think she knew what a segue was. And so when they said this leads me to another segue, I don't know what Kamala was thinking. She just thought, well, yeah, it's dumb what he did or something. I don't know. But I just don't think she knows what a segue is. And I don't think a lot of people do. Why don't you explain to people? Because I'm sure we have listeners that really don't know what a segue is. They think it's a little motor scooter, a Segway spelled differently. Which was, by the way, a pun on the idea that we're going to change from normal vehicles to this. So that was a segue. So they called it a segue. But a segue, explain, please.
Yes, a segue is a transition between one topic to the next. So usually when John is bored with what I'm saying, he will segue into another topic. Let me think of an example. Hey, that's bullcrap. Let's talk about this. That's a segue.
That's an example. There used to be a thing on This Hour Has 22 Minutes or whatever the name of that show was in Canada, where it was a segment called Bad Segues. And it was hilarious because it was usually about, somebody dying a miserable death, and then they segue into some little girl story. So the whole thing was one of the funniest bits ever.
We have a clip here, 15 seconds. The clip is from 2017 CBS. Bad segue.
There is a dangerous weather system along the East Coast tonight. It brought an ice storm to the south and could bring a major snowstorm to the north overnight. We will have much more on that in just a moment. But first, the Arctic chill between President Trump and his former chief strategist.
Right. So that's a bad segue when you use something from the previous story to
make a pun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a bad segue. But they do that all the time.
There's another bad segue. What is this?
And that was former Vice President Joe Biden lashing out at the town hall in Iowa Thursday. The Pentagon's considering sending thousands more troops to the Middle East to counter
That
Iraq.
is what we call no segues. Yeah, it's a thing. But even it's something you don't say as a broadcaster unless you're mocking yourself. So that kind of showed Susan from USA Today was, she doesn't really.
I think she said segue twice.
She did, but there was I went looking for it because it wasn't that. There was another moment where it felt to me like Kamala Harris knew that something else was coming, and also
it wouldn't surprise me.
Susan,
let's put it this way: giving her the benefit of the doubt on knowing what a segue is. It wouldn't surprise me if I was wrong and she actually did have some intelligence about this thing, because they have to put it in the prompter. She had this huge prompter in front of you. You saw it at the beginning, which I thought was a mistake shot.
Yeah, I've seen.
But they showed this woman and they showed the prompter way back in the distance.
The opening, yeah, when she started reading,
and it's a big giant thing, and she's reading from it. Somebody has to put those words into the prompter. They can just as easily. Once that's done, you just, I'm the only one who knows.
Yeah.
It's bullcrap. The guy who wrote did she type into the prompter? I doubt it.
No.
So she's not the only one who knew. Somebody had to know to get that prompter filled with information. And so that there's a middleman in there. So there's a broken link in the chain of evidence right there. So she could have gotten it from some operative that works because a lot of Democrats are the guys who run those prompters.
Of course,
that's what the jobs are.
Of course. In general, I felt, this is all about personality. That's the only comments I heard, except for, of course, MSNBC and CNN really didn't have any of what they call moments, which is a soundbite that you can use, which means Kamala butt slamming Mike. So neither one of them really, there were a couple of things, but not really worth their time to clip it and make it let's play that one again moment. So they went straight back to, all they were discussing is still 211,000 dead. So, the president just has to go. He's just no good. He's no good. They didn't really talk about the debate that much.
No, they didn't have anything. The good stuff was on Biden's side. Let me play my clips.
Okay.
I have a good example. This is an example where Kamala, at the end of her little spiel, she comes in with a 15-second rebuttal and she blasts Pence for he voting on something. They go to the next question and then Pence comes back in his normal way. He talks about something that happened previously, yaks about that for 1 minute with his 2 minutes, and then he addresses the question that was actually asked. And that was his style the whole night.
Yeah.
And this is a good example. And this could have been used as a quote, as a good clip. I think it was a good clip. And I think it really blasts her. Does a very good job of it. But no, we're not going to play that on CNN. Let's debate Biden turns tables on voting record.
Joe Biden is responsible for saving America's auto industry, and you voted against it. So let's set the record straight. Thank you.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about China.
By the way, that was weird. That's the only time, I think, during the entire debate that she just stopped and said, I'm done, thank you. That was it, just done, and left space.
Yeah, it was. It's true, you're right.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to talk about China. We have, as our next topic, we have no more complicated or consequential foreign relationship than the one with China. It is a huge market for American agricultural goods. It's a potential partner in dealing with climate change in North Korea. And in a video tonight...
I hadn't really focused on these questions. China's a potential partner in climate change with North Korea?
She's a professional writer, by the way.
What the hell does that even mean?
Too, but it sounds like climate change in North Korea. But what she said was we're a potential partner with China in dealing with something like and it was it was North very Korea. Poorly structured. But I know what you mean. But her questions were terrible.
But China has always been outside of the Paris Accord, so I don't understand how she can connect that. Okay.
A huge market for American agricultural goods. It's a potential partner in dealing with climate change in North Korea.
Okay.
And in a video tonight, President Trump again blamed it for the coronavirus, saying China will pay. Vice President Pence, how would you describe our fundamental relationship with China? Competitors, adversaries, enemies? You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Susan. Well, before I leave that, let me speak to voting records if I can. Everybody knows that NAFTA cost literally thousands of American factories to close. We saw automotive jobs go south of the border. President Trump fought to renegotiate NAFTA. And the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement is now the law of the land. American people deserve to know Senator Kamala Harris was one of only 10 members of the Senate to vote against the USMCA. It was a huge win for American auto workers. It was a huge win for American farmers, especially dairy in the upper Midwest. But Senator, you said it didn't go far enough on climate change, that you put your radical environmental agenda ahead of American auto workers and ahead of American jobs. The American people deserve to know that. It's probably why Newsweek magazine said that Kamala Harris was the most liberal member of the United States Senate in 2019. More liberal than Bernie Sanders, more liberal than any of the others in the United States Senate. So now with regard to China.
Yeah, that's when we sent the fly in because we're just falling asleep. Man.
He just blasted her there. There was a butt slam moment.
Yeah.
Good. That's a top one.
He has, but he's lacking any energy.
Oh, he's got what? When has he ever had any energy?
I know, but
he's just peeking out.
This was it. This was top of the range for him. Oh, blah.
I got two more. I've got the Green New Deal question is interesting. It's worth listening to. And then I have the top flub, which if you were CNN on the other side of the equation, you'd be playing this over and over because it's a beauty. But let's play the debates Green New Deal question.
Senator Harris, as the Vice President mentioned, you co-sponsored the Green New Deal in Congress. But Vice President Biden said in last week's debate that he does not support the Green New Deal. But if you look at the Biden-Harris campaign website, it describes the Green New Deal as a crucial framework. What exactly would be the stance of a Biden-Harris administration toward the Green New Deal? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Sure. So first of all, I will repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking. That is a fact. That is a fact. I will repeat that Joe Biden has been very clear that he thinks about growing.
First of all, she doesn't answer the question. In fact, she never answers the question about the Green New Deal, where it sits in the scheme of things. No. But when she says Joe Biden will not ban fracking, no matter what Joe Biden says, she never says that Joe Biden said he. Joe Biden said he's going to ban fracking. He's going to end fossil fuel.
I told Joe you won't ban fracking, Joe. But it's the Harris-Biden
she's not saying that he never said these things. She's saying he won't do it.
Right.
Because he can't do it.
Right.
It's not doable.
So that's a smart answer.
It's not legally doable.
So that's a smart answer from her then, really.
Yeah, it's a very smart answer because it sounds as if that, Pence is wrong because Pence claims that Biden said that he's going to ban fracking.
Ah, man.
Saying it is
good
one
catch.
thing.
Yeah, good catch.
Doing it's another. Very slick on her part.
That was good. That's a
and
lawyer.
she was so proud of herself, she said it twice.
That's the difference between a DJ and a lawyer.
I will repeat that Joe Biden has been very clear that he thinks about growing jobs, which is why he will not increase taxes for anyone who makes less than $400,000 a year. Joe Biden's economic plan, Moody's, which is a reputable Wall Street firm, has said will create 7 million more jobs than Donald Trump.
Stop this.
Yeah, I had to stop here, too. Because, first of all, you're praising Wall Street? Are you insane?
Well, besides that, what's Moody's got to? When is Moody's?
Moody's is
a ranking firm.
It's a rigged ranking firm. It's
a
rigged
ranking firm. What is it? When is it predicting employment? When is this? I've never seen the Moody's numbers.
What was the scandal they had a while back?
Oh, it was during the housing crisis. I think they overrated a bunch of phony baloney. Mortgage.
Oh, yeah. That's right. The
they were all, but it wasn't just them. It was everybody.
Yeah, but it's a very reputable Wall Street firm, huh?
Well, they're reputable for what they do, but I don't know that they. When did they all of a sudden start predicting employment numbers? I don't
know.
Biden versus Trump. I'd like to see that report.
7 million more jobs than Donald Trump's, and part of those jobs that will be created by Joe Biden are going to be about clean energy and renewable energy. Because you see, Joe understands that the west coast of our country is burning, including my home state of California. Joe sees what is happening on the Gulf states, which are being battered by storms. Joe has seen and talked with the farmers in Iowa, whose entire crops have been destroyed because of floods. And so Joe believes, again, in science. I'll tell you something, Susan. I served, when I first got to the Senate, on the committee that's responsible for the environment. Do you know this administration took the word science off the website and then took the phrase climate change off the website? We have seen a pattern with this administration, which is they don't believe in science.
They take stuff off
websites. Is about saying we're going to deal with it, but we're also going to create jobs.
At least they got the website up and running. That's the previous administration didn't do so well with websites.
She has this issue of having to use the word Joe constantly because she can't say Biden. she can't say Joe Biden because it doesn't sound right. She could say Vice President Biden, which is what she should be saying, because that would be pounding the
but you know this. You know what she's thinking. She's not thinking Joe's going to be real president.
No, she thinks she's got the job in the bag. But Joe, she just says Joe. It's just demeaning. She's not doing him any good or the party any good by calling him Joe.
On the Green New Deal, one of our producers alerted me to this, and it's kind of like that little slick wordplay she did there. Say Joe will not ban fracking instead of he hasn't said it. And this is about the Green New Deal, because what will it deliver? What will the Green New Deal deliver? Biden, Joe, has said it over and over again.
Yeah. Good paying union jobs.
The fact is, it's going to create millions of good paying jobs.
Good paying jobs. Now, technically, if you're talking about the money, it would be well paying jobs. You're getting good jobs and you'll get paid for it. It doesn't say that you're going to get a lot of money. Good paying jobs is not the same as well paying jobs. It blew my mind when I thought about it. It's like, yeah, because first of all, it's grammatically incorrect. It's
grammatically screwed up.
Yeah, but is it? or does he not mean it'll pay well? Yeah, I know. You got. These are tricky bastards.
Yeah, now you got me like stuck on that one too.
I know the tricky bastards.
You're getting good paying jobs. That means he's getting good jobs. Good is it? It's jobs that are paying
that are good
jobs
because it's a job.
But yeah. Well, it's the same thing with this. Joe will not ban fracking because he can't, but he says he will.
Exactly.
All right, I got one flub which nobody picked up on. I don't know how this is. This reminds me of a number of pickups that we've done on this show that just get ignored, or the media is just. Or people just are zoned. I think they're zoned. I wasn't zoned when I heard this the first time, and then I, had to track it down and pulled it out. It is just what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. And it's just beyond me that this is not like being played. This is, I would say to the Trump campaign, just play this.
And after the 4 years that we have seen of Donald Trump unifying our country around our common values and principles.
We'll play that again.
And after the 4 years that we have seen of Donald Trump unifying our country around our common values and principles.
Good work, Kamala. Nah, they won't play that. They won't play that.
Nobody even catches it.
But what should be out today is the ads about packing the Supreme Court. I mean, that was
good.
That was the mission. And well, I guess they really do have both of them probably. But Kamala Harris, with her explaining debt, I guess she just has disdain for her voters, thinking that no one will question it if she just doesn't answer the question.
She didn't answer the question. And Pence said she wouldn't answer the question. She never even came close to answering the question. They won't answer the question. Now, why won't they answer the question?
Because they plan on at least keeping it open to do it. I don't know. They don't want people going crazy.
There's that. I think that element is in play. Yeah. And, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the last ditch effort.
It seems like an unpopular idea in general. It has gone down, apparently. In 1856, I think it went down to 7 judges.
Oh, I didn't know this because I was always wondering whether it could go down.
Yeah, I think it was, I have it somewhere. It's in the...
You don't really need as many as 9. 7 is not a bad number.
No, 7 would be okay, but yeah. That is kind of odd that it can just be done. It can just be determined. Like, I'll just do more, do less. Doesn't seem entirely
Well, it has to be passed by
of
process.
Of course, yes. There's always a process. So this was not great for the level of television excitement we are used to anymore. It did not live up to, basically before and right after the debate, all the news, except for C-SPAN, all the networks, just like, bah, bah, and then you get the debate, and then, I mean, it was just like it was a moment for yourself just to watch some people talking. It wasn't exciting. By today's and this format that looked like they were in bad cubicles, non-private cubicles.
They should have put him in, you know what would have been cool? Soundproof booths, like in the old $64,000 question.
Yeah.
So both of them in soundproof booths. Then they asked them the exact same question without them getting to hear the other person's answer. That would be interesting.
No, they need to be. I like the glass booth idea, but it needs to be a dunk tank. And then when somebody
have Ellen do the questioning. Let's put her in charge.
Yeah, and then you dunk them. You dunk them for a minute. I mean, the format is not compatible with life today.
Would draw a large audience, but no one would sign off on it.
But we are in the age of TikTok. No one can barely anyone has the attention span to watch it. I look at my email today. I turned it off after 10 minutes. This is so boring. It's a head scratcher, man. It's all about personality. Now, Kamala Harris. And I'm sure I'm biased. I don't find her that impressive. I don't like her, but I got a distinct vibe that women thought she came across a little bit too smug. And women, I'm saying. And that's only the women I know. So it doesn't mean anything, possibly. But on personality, I don't think she scored very big. I don't think she's warm. And Pence, he has the personality of a dish rag.
She's a district attorney creep.
Yeah.
She's not going to be warm. She's a prosecutor. She's like a prosecutor.
We have an aged celebrity in the Netherlands who is a dead ringer for Harris. You should look her up. And she's known from, like, she was in a girl band in the late 70s, early 80s called Love, L-U-V. And their song literally was, "Hey, hello, so you're the greatest lover. Hey, hello, you're such a sexy thing." That was their big hit. And she's just lived off of that for decades. Google this, pictures. Patty, Patty.
Wait. I don't even get a browser up.
Yeah. Hey, what? Did you come to the show without your browser up?
I have my browser down.
You got to have your browser up, man. Browser up. All right. Patty Bart.
It's loading.
Oh, jeez. Patty Bart.
Okay, sock it to me. B-A-T-T-I.
P-A-T-T-Y, last name Bart, B-R-A-R-D. And tell me that, and by the way, she's a horrible woman. Tell me she isn't a ringer.
Oh, God, yes.
Right? So, and I got buddies in Holland who were up watching, and sending me.
It's not really, it's only one aspect of her. She's got the exact same mouth.
It's the mouth, the skin tone,
no,
the
skin
hair.
tone in the mouth, but your eyes are totally different. Her nose is not close.
And believe me, she's just as irritating. So I have a strong visual rejection of Kamala Harris.
I can see
for that very reason. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. She could. Well, think about it. If they win, then if they get the White House, then Patty Bart could be one of those doubles.
Body double.
The body double. She could have a real career.
Brings up another topic of conversation.
The body doubles. Yeah. Now, are you done with your debate clips? I don't think I have anything else.
I don't think I got anything left. I think I made my point, which is that the thing stunk.
Yeah, it kind of did.
If there's any follow-up ones later, maybe I'll drag them out. But no, it's good. Yes, body doubles. So that... Are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening to your body doubles.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's so quiet with the system, I think you dropped out.
I'm just sitting here listening.
The body doubles. See, there was some report that the Secret Service says there's 5 of them.
For Trump?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple, like the one I put in the newsletter, which I think was a good one, that one that had that weird haircut.
Yeah.
It had a haircut that was not, I've never seen Trump have a haircut like that. I mean, it looked like his hair, except for the side thing that was done. It looked like some high school, like a barber.
Yeah.
From the 60s.
Now, do you think that hospital Trump was the right Trump? Because that's where he looked kind of thinnish, and his chin is a little more pointed than it feels, but also camera angles are deceptive.
I don't know what Trump is the right Trump at this point, because it's almost like 3-card Monty. We could call it 3-card Trump.
Yeah.
there's like, you don't know what's the bent card. You go to bent card and all the tricks that are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know which Trump is which, but when he speaks, I don't think anyone can do his stand-up.
No.
And sound like Trump and do all those jokes. So, I don't know.
Well,
that's peculiar.
That's why, Trump that came
Could
home.
Be dead.
Well, now let's talk, because we did see a version of the comeback kid. I am even more convinced now that this was handy that this took place. He was in on Friday, comes out Monday, and CNN, MSNBC, they just lost it. They lost it. They're like, what is going on? And, Trump had this, he's standing up there on the balcony of the White House. He takes off his mask and he gives that look. And I mean, I think it was MSNBC. This was absolutely the correct analysis.
And we haven't heard one iota of humility, sorrow, or even the faintest hint that he now understands what millions of Americans do and that he will work to protect them. You heard none of that.
This is a Mussolini moment. Donald Trump,
yes,
who looks like he has makeup on, which means somebody had to get close enough to make up his face with his favorite orange patina. He's standing there as if he is, a member of the old Russian Tsar family.
Orange! Yeah, that is exactly what it looked like. Hilarious. And then we had over on CNN. Remember now, same with after the debate. It's all going to come back to the over 200,000 Americans dead, 210, 211. He doesn't care. No empathy. That's all they have. That's what they keep hammering on. So they've got the CNN roundtable, and they show the president taking off his mask as he's home triumphant after beating the COVID. And here's CNN's John Berman.
Looking at 210,000 Americans dead. We're seeing a rise in new daily cases. And the president, in that Sunset Boulevard gesture, whipped his mask off in front of the American people on the nightly news.
Now they're showing it.
Last night. So, as a doctor whose job it is, take it off.
Hold on a second.
Don't even put it on
wait, no, you're stepping on it. You're stepping on it.
I stopped. I already did. I need clarification on the Sunset Boulevard gesture.
I didn't get that one. Is that from the movie, I guess?
Well, I saw the movie, and I think I've even seen it recently. Does she make some sort of a fancy... I don't remember I would never call it that, and I wouldn't refer to it. They're talking about a dated reference. I was befuddled by this.
Yeah, okay. No, I don't get the reference either.
Whipped his mask off in front of the American people on the nightly news last night. So, as a doctor whose job it is, take it off. Please, don't even put it on the screen. Please take it off. Because that's going to kill people.
You see, the American people are so dumb when they see the president taking his mask off, that's going to kill people. But Chris Cuomo, he had a semi-meltdown.
Majestically reshooting the scene for his own ad. I hold rallies, and I tell you to ignore masks, and I rip mine off as I vanquish the virus because I am a leader. Fear not, COVID. What a bunch of bullshit.
Whoa! Woo! Whoa. He said bullshit on the air. Woohoo! Woohoo! All back to COVID, all trying to drive that home. Deaths. Even while this was all taking place, Jane Fonda, she looks so good. Is she 81 now?
She reminds me. I remember
she looks
when
good.
Elizabeth Taylor was in her 80s, and she looked terrific because she had the top. A lot of work. Oh yeah, a lot of work was done.
And Jane Fonda's never been bashful about the work. She's 82. 82
and
years old.
So Elizabeth Taylor's on the Carson show, I think, as I recall, and she's like, she looks like she's 35 and she's 82, and just as soon as she opens her mouth, it was like, wow, this is an old woman, and it's just like, yeah, well, it used to, just this horrible. And Fonda's not quite there yet with that.
No.
She's pretty far gone. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. She has a little cackle in it, too, in this clip.
You know what the clip is?
Oh, I thought you had the clip. I do.
I have the clip. That's we both have the clip. Here comes the clip.
We can stop fascism. We are at a point where we can. This is a crossroads. It's an existential crossroads.
Okay, problem one. Existential crossroads. We need to really tamp down the use of existential. You know, it's if we're not existentially threatened by climate change, it's this election's existential. That means if President Trump is reelected, we will die. That's what she's saying.
And we are people who can help determine which way humanity goes. What a great gift. What a tremendous opportunity. We're just so lucky. We have to use it with every ounce of intelligence and courage and wherewithal we have. Because you're absolutely right. This is it. And, I just think COVID is God's gift to the left. This is a terrible thing to say.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing to say. It's a horrible thing to say.
I think it was a very difficult thing to send down to us, but it has ripped the Band-Aid off who he is and what he stands for and what is being done to average people and working people in this country. We can see it now. People who couldn't see it before, they see it now, and we have a chance to harness that anger and make a difference. So I feel so blessed to be alive right now.
I feel so blessed to be alive that someone might die. It's a gift from God. We've got to harness that anger. If I'm talking like that when I'm 82, put the pillow over my head and smother me. That's embarrassing. That's just humanly embarrassing what she's saying there.
Yeah, I agree.
But it all comes down to one thing. The president is now the comeback kid. The most dangerous words ever spoken were in his tweet. The media has been just filled with it. And the words, "Do not be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life." That sent everyone into a tizzy. But a couple of things happened here. So first, the president went to the hospital. He pushed very hard on a new form of treatment, which does not actually have FDA fast track emergency use approval yet, the antibody treatment, which he just calls Regeneron. But he also did something else. He opened up a new channel of communication. Instead of just tweeting, instead of doing the incessant walking up to the press pool as he's on his way to the helicopter and answering questions back and forth and yelling, he's now doing shows. He's doing little video podcasts. They're about 5 minutes in length. It started before he got in the helicopter and on his way out. Then when he was in the hospital, he did 2 of them. Then, of course, he did his little drive-by. If that was him, who the hell knows, could have been body double number 4. And yesterday, he came out with another episode of his show. And this is his show. This is Donald Trump, the television guy. He's finally using video on the internet as a television guy. And I think it may be effective. You won't see it, of course. So he believes that he has the reach and he can get all the way to everybody he needs to. This was 5.5 minutes. I cut it down.
He has the reach.
I think he does too.
Yeah.
So I cut this down to 2.5 minutes. This is the whole message in one go in the new Trump show.
Hi, perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president.
I mean, come on. Right there, you already know it's good. It's like, hey, everybody. Wow. Hey, everybody. It's your favorite president here.
Hi, perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president. And I'm standing in front of the Oval Office at the White House, which is always an exciting place to be. I got back a day ago from Walter Reed Medical Center. I spent 4 days there. And didn't have to. I could have stayed at the White House, but the doctor said, because you're president, let's do it. I said, fine. You tell me what to do, and I'm going to listen. These are great professionals.
Now, you hear this is the messaging. I listened to the doctors, great professionals. They do what they told me to do.
I went in, I wasn't feeling so hot. And within a very short period of time, they gave me Regeneron. It's called Regeneron. And other things too, but I think this was the key. But they gave me Regeneron.
3 times NLP.
And it was like unbelievable. I felt good immediately.
It's a miracle cure.
I felt as good 3 days ago as I do now. So I just want to say we have Regeneron. We have a very similar drug from Eli Lilly. And they're coming out, and we're trying to get them on an emergency basis. We've authorized it. I've authorized it. And if you're in the hospital and you're feeling really bad, I think we're going to work it so that you get them and you're going to get them free.
Now you see where this is leading up to. He's like, hey, this thing worked. I took it. It's Regeneron. It's called Regeneron. Have you heard of Regeneron? Regeneron.
So we have to get them done. We have to get them approved. I want to get them to the hospitals where people are feeling badly. That's much more important to me than the vaccine. The FDA has acted as quickly as they've ever acted in history. There's never been a time, and no president's ever pushed them like I pushed them either, to be honest with you.
You just play along with the show.
It's a cure. For me, I walked in, I didn't feel good. A short 24 hours later, I was feeling great. I wanted to get out of the hospital.
A cure.
And that's what I want for everybody. I want everybody to be given the same treatment as your president. Because I feel great.
This is his message.
I feel like perfect. So I think this was a blessing from God that I caught it. This was a blessing.
Jane Fonda was right. Jane Fonda was right. It was a blessing from God.
I feel like perfect. So I think this was a blessing from God that I caught it. This was a blessing in disguise. I caught it. I heard about this drug. I said, let me take it. It was my suggestion. I said, let me take it.
The warrior said, I'll do it. I'll make sure it's safe for the rest of the country.
I'll cut off my own leg.
Yes.
I said, let me take it. It was my suggestion. I said, let me take it. And it was incredible the way it worked. Incredible. I want to get for you what I got. And I'm going to make it free. You're not going to pay for it. It wasn't your fault that this happened. It was China's fault.
There we go.
And China's going to pay a big price what they've done to this country. China's going to pay a big price what they've done to the world. This was China's fault. And just remember that. So we're going to get you the drug. It's going to be free. We're going to get it into the hospitals as soon as you can, as soon as we can. And you'll see some amazing things happen because we have our military is doing the distribution. It's called logistics. And
hey, John, I just want you to know there's a new term out. People are it's all the whole world is they're turned on by this new thing.
Down.
This new thing called logistics. This new thing called logistics is great, and the military, they're the best at it.
Because we have our military is doing the distribution. It's called logistics. And they deliver hundreds of thousands of troops in a matter of days. This is easy stuff for them. Our generals already, we're waiting for the emergency use authorization, and the drug companies have just made a lot of it. So hopefully this is going to be not just a therapeutic, it's going to be much more than a therapeutic. You're going to get better, you're going to get better fast, just like I did. So again, a blessing in disguise. Good luck.
That's what he said at The Apprentice. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. Not I love you.
This brings to mind a number of things.
Uh-huh.
First of all, it brings to mind Kamala's little comment in the debates where she says, I'll take a vaccine for sure. I'll be first in line. If a doctor tells me to take it, if Trump tells me to take a vaccine, I'm not taking it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I thought was gratuitous bullcrap, but okay. Mm-hmm. Now, the possibility is there's 3 possibilities here. Trump never caught the virus.
Mm-hmm.
Trump caught the virus because somebody gave him the virus. Somebody has snuck in some spook and snuck into the...
Seeing as there's 35 cases throughout the White House. They were infected, of course.
All of a sudden, this one little group, which they're now calling the center of all disease, is the White House.
Now, remember where it came from. The Black Widow herself, Hope Hicks.
Yeah, Hope Hicks.
She's the Black Widow.
And she could be, who knows who she's working for.
Mm-hmm.
And the other possibility is that Trump gave it to himself.
Just to have
That's the one that I get the kick out of because He infected himself so he could get this thing because this was going to be his big play.
It is. And this is his play.
It is a very big play. Now, if you listen, now you have to start listening. Now, this is where you want to switch to Amy Goodman.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
So Amy Goodman decides that she harps on the fact that Trump not only got this drug, but got a bunch of steroids. And she's claiming in all her reporting that the steroids got him all hopped up and he's dangerous now. And well, in fact, I think I've had this clip or not. It might be in this series. But I'll tell you what, you'll hear it, but I'll mention it because it goes back to the old playbook. She says that he's all hopped up, and now the military's concerned because he's got the little football with the launch codes, and he's carting him around, and he's all hopped up on roids. He's got the roid rage, and he can't stop talking. And he can launch a nuclear war at any moment. This is exactly. If you remember during the 2016 election, they made a big fuss about this maniac having the football.
Oh, it's time for the football talk.
So this is, again, back to the old playbook. I mean, this is pathetic what they're doing, especially if you remember anything from 2016. Okay, let's listen to the rundown. We got the COVID rundown. You got to keep this thing at a high fever pitch, and nobody's better at it than I got two clips, a part one and a part two of Amy's crazy COVID rundown on Democracy Now!
Chaos continues to grip the top echelons of the U.S. government as more senior Trump administration officials and their aides test positive for the coronavirus. On Tuesday, President Trump's anti-immigrant senior advisor, Stephen Miller, became the latest high-level official to announce a positive test. White House press aide Jalen Drummond also tested positive, joining the White House press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, and two other deputies with COVID-19. At the Pentagon, all but one member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff are quarantining at home after Admiral Charles Ray of the Coast Guard tested positive for coronavirus. In New Jersey, former Republican Governor Chris Christie remains hospitalized with COVID-19 after he checked himself into Morristown Medical Center Saturday. Hospital officials have declined to comment on Christie's health. His last public comments came Monday in a brief telephone interview with an editor at the New Jersey Star-Ledger who reported Christie sounded raspy. Christie was part of President Trump's debate preparation team last week, which also included campaign manager Bill Stepien, Kellyanne Conway, Hope Hicks, Kayleigh McEnany, all of whom have since tested positive for COVID-19. None of them were wearing masks.
Aye.
On Monday, President Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, who was also present at Trump's debate prep, coughed his way through an interview on Fox News in which he mocked Joe Biden for wearing masks.
After your second clip, I want to say something about masks.
Okay, so she's on a roll.
That's good.
No doubt about it.
That's good.
So here we go with part two.
Fears are rising over resident staff workers employed at Washington, D.C.'s largest coronavirus hotspot, the White House. Ai-jen Poo, the director of the National Domestic Workers Alliance, said in a statement, quote, "The outbreak of coronavirus at our highest level of government highlights the urgent need to provide essential worker protections and comprehensive COVID relief for all of us," she said. Meanwhile, Bloomberg reports two of President Trump's military aides tested positive. The aides act as valets who always travel with the president, carrying nuclear launch codes in a briefcase known as the nuclear football. Trump took the football with him to Walter Reed Hospital over the weekend, where he was administered the steroid dexamethasone, which has been linked to grandiose delusions and psychosis in some patients. The Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists wrote in response, quote, "To state the obvious, we should not entrust nuclear launch authority to someone who is not fully lucid," unquote.
My gosh, you're right. It's the same playbook.
Exactly the same.
It is crazy.
I mean, I even have to pull out the Trump rotation list now and start going over it, and we can find probably examples of all of them. But the launch code one, when that showed up in this report, I'm thinking, holy mackerel, can't they come up with anything new? Or did they figure, I don't know what they're thinking. It's 4 years later, so there's a number of people who were, 17 and 18 back in the day. they can all vote now. And they maybe never heard these gambits. And they're going to be young and stupid, which is what we got coming out of school now. I don't know. It's baffling.
The thing about the masks, you know, I asked on the last episode, how come if masks are so important, we don't have one approved mask that everybody receives? And as it turns out, months ago, there was a plan to disperse or dispense 650 million masks apparently to everyone in the country, which from the reporting was not done because the president didn't want to alarm everybody. And if you just keep looking at any studies about masks, in fact, here Science Daily just came out today with cloth masks really are no good. This was in the British Medical Journal. So they're just no good, really. I'm thinking this could also be, and I'm going to start view it this way, this could also be part of a very smart strategy. I mean, you are essentially either receiving bits of virus or shedding bits of virus if you are susceptible or you are sick, or you have it, not sick, but you have the corona, SARS virus. Maybe it's a strategy to slowly get us to herd immunity. It's certainly going to result in that because they don't work. So everyone feels bold. They're all running around, breathing on each other. It's actually going to give us herd immunity. It could be unintentionally one of the best strategies ever thought up of.
Maybe.
No.
I don't know if there's any strategy going on, but
it's mine now.
I will say this about the masks. This has been drummed into people that somehow masks do more than they do. And I will reiterate, anyone who uses those surgical masks that you can get by the bulk, and the ones I use, the blue ones that are kind of had a little metal thing at the top you pinch around your noses if that does anything.
Mm-hmm.
And those masks, if you push it up against your mouth and try to breathe through it, you can't, because it's only good it's used in a surgery room, because if a doctor happens to sneeze or cough, that's what the mask is good for. It keeps that from going anywhere.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really do anything about your breathing. You're breathing out the side and up through the vent, and anyone who wears glasses knows it fogs your glasses. I mean, let's get a clue here about these things.
Yeah.
And I'm reminded of some of the things I saw last night on a television show. One of these British mysteries on PBS. I watch most of them. And so I watch a lot of them, not most of them. And so somebody's locked a priest in the confessional, and he can't get out, and she locked him in a closet, and she's actually committing suicide and doing a confession. They're both going to die because she's turned the gas on in the kitchen, and the house is filling with gas. Somehow the priest gets out, and as he gets out, he notices the gas is on, and he puts a handkerchief over his mouth.
Yeah.
And he's breathing through the handkerchief, and as he turns the gas off and then opens the window. What does the handkerchief do in this situation in a house full of methane?
Pretty much nothing.
What does it do?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. The methane's not getting stuck on its way through the cloth. Methane is a gas. It goes right through the cloth and right, into your lungs. And you see this all the time on these shows where somebody puts they go into the garage. You see this in mysteries a lot. The guy's killing himself with carbon monoxide. And so the garage is filled with carbon monoxide. They pull out handkerchiefs and put it over their faces. No, you're breathing. You got to hold your breath. You're breathing carbon monoxide through the handkerchief.
Would you please stop bringing science to the show? You're ruining entertainment. This is not good what you're doing. People,
it's just bullcrap.
Rotate, zoom, enhance.
We have been brought up with this, and it's a subconscious thing. We think that this is effective, and that's why the gators they're funny, but they don't do anything.
Yeah, they give me herd immunity slowly.
Yeah, they probably are giving you herd immunity.
Mike Pence texted me last night while he was sitting there.
No way.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, he says, Mike Pence here. Will you step up? President Trump up the stakes to win big. Here it comes. 900% match live. Act now. That's all uppercase. The 900% match live. Act now.
Well, they probably tested that. If you probably get one of two test emails, I would, this is what you do when you're doing this kind of work.
Yeah.
And they're testing 900% against 9x because it's the same thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, 9x versus 900%.
But if I was doing direct marketing in the campaign, I would like to know. So one of the things
which one works? Which one works better?
Does 900 work better than 9?
900 feels much better, much more
900
enticing.
feels bigger.
Now, Joe also...
But wait, there's other issues here. The 900 also feels like BS.
Well, I can't speak to that, but I wanted to give the contrast. And, I gave $100 to each campaign. And the premium I got from President Trump was quite nice for my $100. I got a platinum Trump card, Trump 2020, a credit card with nothing on it. It just says Trump 2020. I have a member number.
I love the member number.
Yeah, Trump 2020 platinum member for my $100.
You're a card-carrying Trump fan.
I am now, yeah. But I didn't really get any premiums from Joe, but I did get the text from Joe. So you heard you heard Mike Pence's pitch. 900% match. Now we get, hi, it's Joe. Isn't Kamala doing great on the debate stage? I can't wait for her to be our nation's next vice president. To put it simply, that can't happen without your support. You know that I hate to ask, but we're counting on supporters like you to chip in a couple of bucks when you can to help keep up the momentum in this final stretch. Will you please chip in $12 now? Now, they've been doing $12 for a while now, for about 2 weeks. I don't know how they came up with $12. But I think,
tested.
That is truly two different voices, very different in approach. But both during the debate. Mike is great that he could do that while he was debating. That was really fantastic. Amazing.
You know what would have been funny in the middle of the debate if he'd said, hold on a second, I got to send a quick message.
To Adam.
To Adam.
That would have been even funnier. Well, so there is pushback coming, and things are stirring up. People are organizing. We have two major initiatives now underway, one by medical professionals who have posted something called the Great Barrington Declaration, which is great if you're an elitist. I think it'll have zero traction. These are Harvard guys. In fact, this is, what's this guy's name? This guy is Dr. Kuldorf. He's a Harvard Medical School professor, and he's a quick intro to what he's doing.
So there's sort of a perception that lockdowns and contact tracing is something that the scientific community is behind. And there are some who are advocating that. But among my colleagues who are infectious disease technologists, most are in favor of a risk-based strategy or an age-based strategy where we protect the elderly and other high-risk groups while the younger will resume lives more or less normally. And that's what Scott Atlas has been advocating, and which we now put out a declaration, the Great Barrington Declaration, and we put that out this morning, and there are already over 500 medical and public health scientists who have co-signed, as well as over 500 practicing medical professionals.
So they're trying to do the kind of fight fire with fire. They're a really slick-looking website. It actually has kind of a whole World Economic Forum vibe to it, if I'm quite honest. And so they have
Who's
all these.
Barrington?
I don't know. I started to look at this document. And it's a lot of stuff, PCR tests, the whole thing. It's all the stuff we know. I don't know why they're calling it the Great Barrington Declaration. I don't know. I should have probably studied more. But we know what this is. But that's just
old Cal hacks from the 60s and 70s are familiar with Barrington Hall will find this highly amusing.
What's Barrington Hall? You got to tell me.
Well, Barrington Hall was a notorious co-op that was just a drug-addled. It was just a completely. They had two systems. They had the dormitory system. They had you can have your own private housing. And then they had this so-called co-ops where you had to work.
Uh-huh.
And Barrington Hall was the most notorious because it was just basically a party place, and during an era of parties. So tells you something right there. It's amusing they called it Barrington.
We have this. My mom went to Barrington High, if that's anything.
There you go.
Maybe she was quite a party girl. Here now the second initiative seems a little more interesting. It is billed as the largest tort case in history, being filed under international criminal law. And this is, I think this is one of the guys who was with Robert Kennedy Jr. in Berlin. This is Dr. Rainier Fulmich, and he gives us a little introduction to what his group is doing.
This corona crisis, according to all we know today, must be renamed a corona scandal. And those responsible for it must be criminally prosecuted and sued for civil damages. And for this reason, I will now explain to you how and where an international network of lawyers will argue this biggest tort case ever, the corona fraud scandal, which has meanwhile unfolded into probably the greatest crime against humanity ever committed. Crimes against humanity are today regulated in Section 7 of the International Criminal Code. The three major questions to be answered in the context of a judicial approach to the corona scandal are: 1. Is there a corona pandemic, or is there only a PCR test pandemic? Specifically, does a positive PCR test result mean that the person tested is infected with COVID-19, or does it mean absolutely nothing in connection with the COVID-19 infection? 2. Do the so-called anti-corona measures, such as the lockdown, mandatory face masks, social distancing, and quarantine regulations, serve to protect the world's population from corona? Or do these measures serve only to make people panic so that they believe, without asking any questions, that their lives are in danger, so that in the end, the pharmaceutical and tech industries can generate huge profits from the sale of PCR tests, antigen and antibody tests, and vaccines, as well as the harvesting of our genetic fingerprints? And 3, is it true that the German government was massively lobbied, more so than any other country, by the chief protagonists of this so-called corona pandemic, Mr. Drosten, virologist at Charité Hospital in Berlin, Mr. Wheeler, veterinarian and head of the German equivalent of the CDC, the RKI, and Mr. Tedros, head of the World Health Organization, or WHO, because of Germany is known as a particularly disciplined country and was therefore to become a role model for the rest of the world for its strict and, of course, successful adherence to the corona measures. Answers to these three questions are urgently needed because the allegedly new and highly dangerous coronavirus has not caused any excess mortality anywhere in the world, and certainly not here in Germany.
So I sure hope they follow. I don't know if they're doing this just in Germany, or if they go to the International Criminal Court, it'd be a big joke, but if they actually do it in Germany, that could be something.
Well, I have this. I watched that guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
the whole
long.
thing. Yeah,
and people should watch the whole thing because it's interesting. It's a little dull.
Yeah.
I had trouble getting clips from it. You got the right clip.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea, but it's getting zero play by the mainstream media, of course, because they're making too much money on this with the way they're doing things. And I don't know. It's an interesting idea. I think there's a case there.
Oh, there's definitely a case, but people have to do it. So when you do stuff, you get results. Now, very disturbing. It's not like we didn't predict this to happen. In the UK, they have Operation Moonshot. We talked about this, and it was the BMG British Medical Journal where they published what their plans were. And I'll just read here from a little, let me see, a little spot here. They were talking about the digital passport. I'm opening up the actual page. There we go. And here it is. What is a digital passport? So this is the entire plan the British medical and political community has. testing for access to certain spaces features heavily in the documents with reference to immunity/virus-free passports likely to be available through an app. Plans say testing could be used to give people assurance that for at least a limited time, they are unlikely to have the virus and are at low risk of transmitting it to others. Well, that is now in play. They have launched it, and they launched it news today, specifically on, let me see, did they launch it? Which airline did they use here? Yeah, here we go. From Heathrow. This is an app, and it's exactly what you'd expect it to be, where you have to go to an approved lab, so you can't just do any old lab. It has to be a special one. The app is built and managed by, you can't make it any funnier, the World Economic Forum. And here it is, world's first COVID passport technology trialed on flights from Heathrow this week in bid to let passengers travel without risk of quarantine in future, but requires authorities to trust test lab results. And it's not British test lab results because it's run by the World Economic Forum, so it's done by other testers, other entities. But here it is. They position it nicely, like, oh, you'll be able to feel safe. No, you will be able to travel at all. You're going to need this. And next it's going to be to go to the soccer stadium, to school, to work, who knows. It's exactly the same as what China is doing. Exactly the same. And we said it would happen, and here it is.
Yep.
What other airports? It's not just Heathrow, apparently. There's another article about it.
Well, if the airlines didn't have enough trouble with the implementation of the modern TSA, yeah. They got this will not stand.
Well, this is just a QR code, which is great because I'm pretty sure we can come up with a phony baloney. You stick it over your phone, over the screen, like one of those screen protectors. Just to make, or screw it. How about just a screenshot? Or just a screenshot and show the screenshot. I don't know. This is for compliance.
Yeah, screenshots work. I've actually done that.
Yeah, if any, with what? What were you doing with your screenshot? What were you trying to get into?
I wasn't trying to get into anything, but I took a screenshot of a QR code so I could return some package to Amazon.
Yeah, those work. Meanwhile, down under, things are still very locked down, really, in Melbourne, in Victoria specifically, and or as we call it, Danistan. Here is the man, Daniel Andrews. The truth wants to come out. Now, this is the premier, as you want to say, of the Victorian state. And listen to what he actually is thinking because it came out of his pie hole.
Life can go on as it is. But at the moment, what I'm seeing as Health Minister is a level of apathy, a level of complacency. I understand that, but I'm not happy about it. I'd also say this, the other area of danger is the place that we would normally consider to be the safest place on earth, our homes. You've already heard today that a number of the people who've actually now got the virus, got it in a home situation. And we'll hear more detail about that in due course. But it is both a safe place and a dangerous place. We must treat this new world order, this new world of COVID. We must treat this new world of COVID even in our own homes.
What was he thinking when that came out?
What did he say? Trick?
It is both a safe place and a dangerous place. We must treat this new world order, this new world of COVID.
He said new world order. He meant New World of COVID, but New World Order came out.
Oh, he said New World Order.
Yeah.
I thought that's what he meant to say.
Yes.
Didn't sound like a gaffe.
He corrected it. I don't think that's what he wanted to say, but it came out all right. This is New World Order stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've established that on this show probably sometime in April.
I think we established it over 10 years ago.
Well, we established, yeah. But we didn't establish COVID. You're right.
Exactly.
We harp on it, actually.
Yeah. And so we have Mayor de Blasio in New York shutting down, as the news story goes, shutting down 9 zip codes. Or is it area codes? Zip codes, area codes, I don't know. Including Brooklyn. And when he says shut down, that means you shut down everything. Shut down churches, shut down temples, shut down mosques. And if you've ever lived in New York, there, you can only push our New York, Brooklyn Jews so far. And they were not having this, and they were burning their masks. Yes,
I could put at least a little background on this. I picked up on one of the right-wing talk shows.
Oh, good.
Is that if you looked? I don't have a clip.
Okay.
If you look at the stats of the various communities, especially the Black and Hispanic community in New York, and they tend to eschew the mask, and they have a higher rate of COVID per capita in those neighborhoods. Those were passed over to target the Jewish communities in Brooklyn, and everybody knows this.
Oh, and really?
So yes, and so that made this an anti-Semitic, apparent anti-Semitic move by de Blasio, and a much more apparent. It would get them much more riled up, and it did.
So they skipped over neighboring neighborhoods?
Yeah.
So he's
pretty much just targeting the Jews.
He's literally rounding up the Jews.
Yeah.
Well, at least this Jew had some humor about it.
My people that have to die, I'm holding Mr. de Blasio and Mr. Cuomo personally responsible. I will file criminal charges. I will go after you personally. I will make sure that I sue you every possible minute. I will spend every single dollar I own just to get you. By the way, everybody, while all of our taxes went up, Mr. de Blasio's 2 houses, his taxes were down. It was moved out. Everybody should be hell happy.
The guy's doing a stand-up show in the middle of the fire in Brooklyn. and here's my question about this shutting down zip codes. Does that mean that you can't leave your neighborhood? I mean, if you step over the line and if you go to like Queens, where maybe you are able to walk around, are you literally not allowed to leave your area code? I mean, how does this work? How does it work?
You can't do that. Nobody knows where the zip code line is.
Of course not. How does it work? I feel bad. I feel bad for everybody in New York. And meanwhile,
hey, you know what? I don't. Why? Because they brought it on themselves. They elected this guy. They knew from the get-go that he was a socialist or a communist at worst, and they voted him in with let's vote him in. So I don't feel sorry for them. They're the ones that brought it on themselves.
And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, the man who put 2 C's in the International Criminal Code, John C. Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. Also in the morning, I'll shift sea boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, all the days and nights out there.
In the morning to our trolls in the troll room, which is found at noagendastream.com. Quick troll count, 1637. Hands up, trolls. This is such a fun place to hang out. If you're a troll, it's a chat room where you can listen to 24 hours, 7 days a week of Gitmo Nation podcasts, all talk, well, not all talk, but no commercials, no corporate interest, just a lot of cool stuff to listen to. And you can go in there anytime you want. There's always someone in there, and you can chat if it's a live show like we do. Troll us, send me one-liners. It's kind of a meeting place that's been online now for, I think, 11, almost 12 years at noagendastream.com. And when you're in there, hit up anybody for an invite to noagendasocial.com. It's our federated social network, no algorithms, very high signal to noise. Did you get your back in? I reset your password?
Oh, I have. Yeah, no, I didn't do anything yet. I stayed out.
Oh, because people are missing you.
Yeah.
But did you receive the email to change your password? Did you get the email reset? You don't know, do you?
I have to look.
And you were snide and sending me emails about, why is it my problem?
Just sending you a note saying the thing didn't work correctly.
Oh, I'm sorry. You forgot the second email you sent. It's okay.
You hate me. But I'll tell you somebody that doesn't hate me.
I don't hate you at all.
Michael Auslander.
Well,
there's a segue. That's a segue.
Yeah, but your segue sucks because we
didn't get
fucking
to thank
10
anybody?
years. 10 years we've been doing we thank the artist.
Oh yeah, okay.
So how was your segue?
It sucked. It was a bad segue. It's an example of a bad segue.
NoAgendaSocial.com is where you can then hang out, and you might get lucky. John might reset his password and come back in. Jordan33 brought us the artwork for episode 1283. We titled that "Dumb and Sick," which was a clip we had, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Don't remember how we chose that one.
It was from a clip, yeah.
Now, we had a hard time finding art, if I remember correctly.
Yes, this was so difficult that we went to the evergreens, and it wasn't even a new evergreen. This is from page 2 of the evergreens, as I recall.
And there must have been something when that was submitted that was just that much better for that particular episode that we didn't choose this one.
I don't know. I disagree. I think, because I would have remembered this. Mm-hmm. I never saw this art before. This art was never submitted into the regular stream. Mm-hmm. It's one of those artists, and it's an evergreen piece of art. It's genuinely evergreen. It doesn't refer to anything in the show.
Right.
It's one of those really high-end artists who decide to do a piece, just obviously not listening to the show, not being able to do it live like some guys like Joshua Pettigrew used to do.
Yeah.
And he can't do anymore because he doesn't listen live. And he just submitted to evergreens to see, but it's an evergreen, let's throw it in the pile, and we did finally find it. That's what I think. I don't think it was passed over.
Well, it was a beautiful piece. I mean, it's well done. It didn't really relate to the show per se, but you look at the neon, no agenda. It had a whole bunch of really good elements that I think we both liked it a lot. And the 33, the mainstream media, and that's Jordan 33. Jordan 33 has done stuff for us before, I think. Wasn't that the Orange Man? I think Jordan did the Jordan 33.
Maybe did Orange Man Bad. It's possible.
Yeah. The Orange Man Bad. That's right. Jordan 33 did that. Well, we congratulate Jordan 33 on a big win in a very competitive space.
It's a gorgeous piece. It's a great piece.
And it's a very competitive space where our artists play. And we appreciate all the work that they do. Check it out. Check out everything that was, and maybe you'll get inspired. Go to noagendaartgenerator.com. And again, we thank Jordan 33. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for helping us put the show together. It makes a difference. That's what we look at when we see the value for value model. You put into it, whatever you get out of it, what you put in, you get out, essentially. And we have our patrons who like to support us as executive producers and associate executive producers. They are doing the work, and this is where we get to thank them.
Michael Auslander in Exton, Pennsylvania, $500, and he has just a bunch of jingles. He says he wants a JCD 3x3.
Mm-hmm.
Win, lose, or drone.
Mm-hmm.
He needs a de-douching. Give him that right now.
Okay.
You've been de-douched.
And I guess he wants some karma, but he has a karma note. He says, I love you.
Aww.
And now it's time for 3x3. Experiment by JCD.
It's an oldie.
Comparing stories from ABC, CBS, and NBC. The never-ending 3x3.
Win, lose, or drone.
You've got karma.
That's a good one. I hadn't heard that one in a long time.
Yeah. Next on the list is Michael Goodell from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. And I believe I went to trouble of getting these things this morning. I don't know if I got one from him. I don't think I found his note.
Really now?
You might want to take a quick look. But if I find out, I'll look again. But a couple of these guys said they had notes, and there were no notes to be found, at least not in my
No, I don't have a note either from Michael Goodell.
Okay, well, I'll look again later.
Okay.
Because I remember looking a couple other guys up. But did I look up Michael Goodell? Maybe not. Arthur Schuscher? Actually, why don't you read Schuscher? No, I'll do Schuscher. I can't pronounce it. In Starkville, Mississippi, 3333. And how do you pronounce that?
I don't know. Schuscher?
Hi, Arthur here. It's my second installment for knighthood. My last donation was 4 years ago. And so he's going to get there in 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Donated to Trump back then. I figured I needed to pay up for 10 years of best podcast in the universe also. So Trump and you guys got my money. Love your show. You need the jobs and Trump jobs and goat karma. Let's hope the karma works for Trump again like last time. Trying not to be too political, but it is what it is.
All right, we got that for you.
Jobs, jobs, jobs.
You've got karma.
Worked last time for him. Happy to do it again.
Baron Ryan of Tampa Bay, 333.33, which is very popular today in Florida. Wow, what a fantastic job you and John are doing lately. You're keeping my entire family sane in these times. You've both been on the point for the last few weeks, more than usual. Mm-hmm.
Okay, more than you. More than usual. Hey, usually you sound kind of sleepy and hey, come on, man. Come on, man.
The deconstruction of the virus origin and the appearances on other shows have really made No Agenda more approachable and relevant than ever. Yeah, because everyone else is full of crap. I've been able to hit several more people in the mouth. Although busy, I've always made time for No Agenda to shrink my amygdala and keep my bearings. Quite literally, your work keeps me mentally strong enough to point myself in the right direction and help my friends and family from falling prey to the mental assault going on.
Yeah.
No jingles, but jobs karma, please, for all the producers looking for opportunity. Baron Ryan of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, thank you, Baron Ryan. That's the part about notes I love the most, where people say, just whatever you were doing, it kept me sane. And that's all. That's good enough for me.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Now, next on the list is Derek Veldhuis. So this check came in 333.33.
Nice.
And it just came in with no note. And usually somebody sends a check, mails a check, and just a check, bare check. So he has NJNK, I have to assume, and he's in Iowa. Addison, and it's funny, is his name on his check, and then it just says Iowa. I don't know. Addison Todd in Chesterfield, Missouri, 333. You can read this one while I go and look in the mail for Michael Goodell.
Okay. Addison Todd, 333, Chesterfield, Missouri. Dear Adam and John, fantastic deconstruction lately, as always. I'm doing all caps. I've hit several people in the mouth that has changed the way they view the media circus. Please don't find that exit strategy. Well, still searching very hard. Since becoming knighted, I've been in contact with other knights and dames about all sorts of things related to edibles, CBD. No, what is it? Does it say edibles? It says ebles. Ebles, I'm sorry. Truth wants to come out. Hey, edibles. Ebles, CBD. And I've spoken to Sir Cal as well about his payment processing issue. Yes. It's a nightmare trying to sell CBD almost anywhere. And to add insult to injury, Facebook allows prescription drugs to be advertised, but not CBD. Is it really that unbelievable? Thankfully, you guys truly do have no agenda, and I can get the word out here at the very least. As always, your audience can save 33% on every order with the code NOAGENDA, all one word, at checkout. Or they can email for bulk discounts, addison@ebles.com, E-A-B-L-E-S, Ebles. Thank you for all you do, and don't ever stop. I won't be able to do what you do for... I won't be able to do what you do for my friends and family if you quit, as I'm too damn lazy. Okay? So we're happy to pick up your slack. The weight of truth and reason is on your shoulders. Oh, so keep bringing us solid gold. I mistakenly never got my de-douching on my first donation, and I also unknowingly called the suburban wizard a douchebag when that is not the case, as he does the monthly plan. So if you could de-douche us both, that would be tremendous. And I have some douche... Well, here's your de-douche.
You've been de-douched.
You'll have to share that one. Douchebags, Chris Rosendahl. Douchebag. And my lovely mother, Vicky. Douchebag. Wow, really, ma'am? I mean, we know people at No Agenda don't like their moms, but you really laid it on thick. Jingles, no real conflict, that's true. And business success, goat karma. I can't find a P.O. box for Adam anywhere. Someone please advise. Let me do this for you, and I'll give you my P.O. box.
There's no real conflict.
That's true. Jobs, jobs,
that's business
jobs,
success.
And jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
I do have a P.O. box. Let me just make sure. I haven't said it in a long time. Make sure I didn't do it right. It's, I think it's 18209. Yeah. P.O. Box 18209, Austin, Texas, 78760.
Nice. I'm glad you did that. Okay, back to, I was right the first time about Michael Goodell. For some reason, they didn't ring a bell, but
you had a note.
He says he wrote me a note, but I looked and there are notes from Michael Goodell, but the last one was from April. And he's friends with Dame Chardonnay, and in fact, he wrote a very nice essay back in April that he sent to me. But there's no note that has that's since April, and I don't know what's what. So I have no idea.
Okay.
All right, onward. You just did.
Now we have Jason Howard. I have no note from Jason Howard in Pittsburgh, PA, 333.
There is no note, and I looked. There's no note from a Howard, from a Jason. There's no note under the subject name donation from anyone named Jason Howard. So Jason Howard, 333 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. No, we'll just assume he's no jingles, no karma. He obviously didn't want. So I actually got up early today and did these notes.
I know. I could tell you're a little irked. You couldn't find them all. That makes sense.
Yeah, I couldn't find any of them. So so why bother? I just might as well just do it on the fly like I've been doing. Christopher Madding, $233.33. He's our first associate executive producer, and he writes in. Y'all been way overdue for a donation with all the stellar work during this time. Thank you. I'm sending this one from my brother, Eddie. Can I get a de-douching?
You've been de-douched.
I'm a man in brown, UPS, and I wanted to do he's a UPS guy, and I wanted to let other listeners know who have lost their jobs. Check out UPS, USPS, FedEx, Amazon near you. Tons of online orders have been peaking volume for Christmas for most of the Rona. I can say for UPS, we have very good benefits and pay, and very good pay depending on what you do. It's not easy and can be stressful at times, but honestly, I enjoy going to work. Just want to help others get back on their feet. With that being said, I'd like to call on the help of the No Agenda Nation for my older brother. He's always been there to help and lead me in times I needed it the most, but now I hope I'll be able to help him like he's always helped me. Because of COVID, he very recently had to switch sales jobs and now works for a Texas-based PPE and sanitation distribution company called Enveritex. If your company needs bulk orders of medical masks, nitrile gloves, foggers, disinfectant wipes, and high foot traffic businesses, send him an email. Right. Eddie, he's a sales guy, so this brother's
Eddie
giving him some leads, some free leads via the No Agenda Executive Producer Program.
I love it.
Eddie at enveritex.com. That's ENVERATEX. Also, if anyone knows of an accredited laboratory that can do an independent study on new products that has the potential to kill COVID-19, please email him. I can hope we can send some leads and lab help his way. Thank you, John and Adam, for doing the work. So we can all keep our sanity small.
And if I can make a recommendation, as I always do, a great place to do this is noagendasocial.com. It's not just the thousands who are of No Agenda Nation who are there, but it is federated out, retweets or boosts as they're called there. They do get around, and you'd be surprised how helpful Gitmo Nation can be. Go to noagendasocial.com. Sir Howard, sir, $220.23 from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he says, it's in celebration of my new ham radio license. He is now Kilo Charlie 3 Quebec Foxtrot Delta. 73s from Kilo 5 Alpha Charlie Charlie. You want to get a vanity for that. Kilo Charlie 3 Quebec Foxtrot Delta. Whew. They didn't cut you a break with the Quebec. I'd like to thank Edith Ann, Dame to Be, for all her patience and for cleaning the bathroom after I took the test from the commode. Okay. I appreciate all the quality analysis and laughter you provide. For jingles, please include some jobs karma and regular karma, Sir Howard, sir. P.S. I attempted to send a payment of $333.33 last Sunday, but ended up spending too much time at the round table. Oh, I see what happened. Yeah, of course, man. Congratulations. And we'll see you somewhere on the frequency.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
All right, so we got a note here from Lynn Schmitz. And she wanted this to be read on the Sunday show, but we're reading it today. I try not to do these. If you want stuff read you send us something in advance, you want it read in the future, it's never going to get read. Because I said it before, and people know this, we're last in, first out.
Yeah.
So something goes into the pile, and then stuff gets on top of it.
Don't plan with us. It's got to be in between shows, after a show, before the next one. That's the way to get it in.
But so we're going to push this today. It closes a check for $200.31 to support the show on October 11th. I want to recognize he's on the birthday list for today. And he's also, this should be, we've been listening to the show for 6 months. He'll be 31. He wants to be a producer, and that's why the check is for $200.31. So Alex has to be the guy on this list. So he'll be the producer, not Lynn. But he'll be Alex.
Right, Alex, gotcha.
He's an essential worker because he's director of child care when the COVID lockdown started in Minnesota. His first assignment was taking care of medical professionals' children. Thank God your show kept my amygdala small. You're welcome.
No, my pleasure.
Alex was noodle-boyed at first for resharing a Trump tweet on Facebook. These thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd. When the looting starts and shooting starts, HR asked Alex to attend a Zoom call. HR asked Alex if he was a white supremacist.
Noodle power!
So in other words...
They really asked him that? That was a serious HR employment question?
Yeah.
Get out. That's got to be illegal.
It's got to be illegal.
You can't do that. That's insane. I wish I had a recording.
You guys, everyone out there, record your Zoom calls. There's
gold,
huge amounts of money to be made.
Gold, I'm telling you. Talk
gold.
About a
You're
lawsuit.
Throwing it away.
So they said, "Hey, welcome to HR. Are you a white supremacist?" Is that seriously how it goes now?
It probably was. They noted that he retweeted a Trump, the president of the United States.
Oh, well, then of course
he retweeted this one
white supremacist, obviously. Yeah.
Here's a short, and there's this report. I'm going to read it. Short boots on the ground report from the Twin Cities. Surly Brewery's beer hall is closing permanently after attempting to stay open during the shutdown. The beer hall holds 350 people, but Governor Walz, the Democrat, says maximum group size of any location is 250. They were open in July, and after doing the books for July, they realized with the reduced capacity, they were losing money. Approximately 350 people will lose their jobs. This will continue to brew and distribute beer, just no longer keep the beer hall operating. You know, Surly made the decision to close the beer. This is a gripe about, I guess they really like Surly's. My husband and I attached the Trump flotilla on the St. Croix River, just east of St. Paul. Pictures. I was wild to see all the Trump support in such a blue state. Well, they might be rigging their votes. It's the way you do it. And then she goes on with some other minor stuff about the state. Keep up the great deconstruction. Thank you for doing the hard work. Okay.
Any jingles? Any karma? Anything of the like?
She didn't ask for nothing except for the call out for her boy.
Okay.
Now I do have one more thing to read.
All right.
Because you got to take your pen out because I think we got a knighthood here.
Aye. All right.
First, and this is from, let's see, Scott Minton, and he's in North Carolina, I believe. First, please forgive my douchebaggery. I also set up auto payments way back in the beginning of 2015 for 4 solid years. My bank diligently sent you a $5 check every Friday, every Friday. Apparently, I set it up to auto cancel when I hit 1,000. It's his own version of the layaway program.
I like that. Good idea.
Which happened way back in December 2018. Counting attached. Well, I'm sure I had good intentions at the time. I've been riding on your coattails, not providing any value in return. I went to check the status of my knighthood in waiting and discovered 2 grave errors. First, I've been a knight since January 2019 and didn't even realize it.
Oh, my.
Second, I've been a huge douchebag for almost 2 years because I didn't update my payment plan. That ends tonight. Except I'm upping the donation to a whopping 6.66 every Friday.
Wow.
Please de-douche me.
You've been de-douched.
And knight me, if the table permits. Servant. It's another pun that we haven't seen. Servant. Knight of the Orange.
Okay, knight
Since single malt scotch is already at the table, tonight I drink. Also, at your convenience, please send me your direct deposit information So my 6.66 Friday value for value can grace your accounts post haste. I'll send you a note. Thank you for all you do and for all your years of doing it, or doing the work.
Well, that's fabulous.
And he has a little PS that's nice, too. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, very cool. All right.
And that will conclude our group of well-wishers.
So I will top up the single malt. Hold on. I'm going to give him Dalwhinnie.
Well, I got one. You want to do something fancy on there.
Okay.
How about 30-year-old Lafroig?
Oh, yeah. I'm 30-year-old Lafroig. You know, that was one of my clients back in Think New Ideas days. We had Shiflin and Somerset, who import all the single malts.
Yeah.
What a great client to have.
I would think.
Lagavulin, Lafroig, Oban. I've had it all. We had the barbacks in the office. Good times. Okay, 30-year-old Lafroig it is. Anything else you want to add to it for him? And some stinky cheese?
Oh, how about Stilton, you said?
And a Stilton. And Stilton cheese. Okay. We are a full-service organization here. There will even be a mint on your pillow.
You want to up the ante on the Stilton? I got one.
Okay.
This is a good one. Stitchelton cheese.
Okay.
Stitchelton is the progenitor of Stilton.
Stitchelton?
Yes, Stitchelton.
Doesn't sound healthy.
It's rare in the country, but if you ever have it, it is a stunner.
Stitchelton cheese. Okay. Right. Well, thank you very much all for supporting the No Agenda show. These are, as I think John mentioned, our executive producer and associate executive producers. You can use these credits. They are for this episode. And if anyone gives you any grief about it, we'll be happy to vouch for you. People have gotten jobs and requested for a reference from us. So it does work, and feel free to do that. And consider supporting us for our next show, which will be on Sunday. And for that, go to
Dvorak.org/NA.
Thank you very much for your time, your talent, treasure. And remember, big meetup on the 13th in Vegas.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
Apparently, 53 people have already RSVP'd for our for the Vegas meetup, which is pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And the keeper will be there. That's the big draw. Let's see. Now I have a couple things. I actually have a few Bill Gates clips. There was a new CEO forum, Wall Street Journal CEO forum, and I definitely want to play those. Do you mind if I do that now, just to get through them? We've done most of the Rona stuff.
I think we're out of Rona stuff.
Yeah, well, this is related.
I would. Let's do Bill. That fits right in. That's a good segue, actually.
Yeah, Bill is vaccines, obviously, so that's where we're headed. As Kamala Harris said, she won't take one if the president's all over it. That'll be no good. But first, we need to just get a little update on where we're at. You know, how long will it really take before we're out of this and everything's done? You know, we'd like to be done now, but, you know, Bill always keeps you hanging a little longer.
If you're going for an Olympic...
Is Bill a virologist that he would know these things?
Why, yes, I believe he is.
Is he a doctor?
If we're going for an elimination where we don't have any more transmission, that'll take 2 to 3 years.
Oh, cool.
In the rich countries, however, if you really in the first of next year the vaccines out a lot, and they're fairly effective at transmission blocking, then by late next year, you could have things going back pretty close to normal. That's the best case.
Okay, Bill. Well, we see that Russia and China have vaccines they're already distributing. I mean, I know you have a lot of connections and a lot of intricate business relationships between you, the foundation, and Gavi and the World Health Organization. But how about these Russian and Chinese vaccines? I mean, if they're good, shouldn't we just be all over them, using them? Shouldn't we be go, go, go?
Do you have any insight into either the Russian vaccine effort or the Chinese efforts? Do you know? Do you have any insights into how good those vaccine efforts are and whether they're going to play a role here?
Yeah, our vaccine team, is a large pool of expertise, mostly.
Oh yeah, no. The way he speaks is he's in charge of everything, and I have a feeling that a lot of even the pharma guys are probably licking his boots. Well, the vaccine team is a large pool of expertise, mostly people who came from the private sector vaccine companies. And, our normal job for infectious disease that doesn't get a lot of visibility is to get new vaccines, very low cost, high volume vaccines. And so we're talking with all the... Is that his job, or is that what his foundation does to help people? It feels to me like he's not really helping people. He has a job to get cheap new vaccines and inject people. I don't know. It's a nuance. Maybe I just don't trust him that much.
I think you're probably right on it.
All right.
Volume vaccines. And so we're talking with all the companies. I have regular phone calls with the pharma CEOs about, okay, what's the progress? How do we second source these?
So he's calling, hey, it's Bill. What's the progress? How you doing? I'm just checking on you. I truly believe that's taking place. This guy is some kind of grand poobah.
He's out of control.
He really is. Whether he believes it and it's just him, I mean, it's...
The pharma CEOs about, okay, what's the progress? How do we second source these things? We're also talking with Russia and China. None of their vaccines are in a phase 3 trial with a highly regarded regulator overseeing that trial. So at some point, Sinopharm, CMBG, Clover, CanSino, one of them should pick a quality regulator. And so the world...
who's a quality regulator? I mean, I guess the FDA is a regulator. What other quality regulators can Russia and China go to? China, World Health Organization, they don't have a quality regulator? I think Bill is full of shit. He just doesn't want those companies to compete because they don't have a quality regulator. Everything else from China was great, but now they're not great?
CanSino, one of them should pick a quality regulator, and so the world can look and see, okay, does this thing have side effects? From a scientific point of view, the one Russian construct and 6 of the Chinese constructs are perfectly valid constructs, actually with some similarities to the work the Western companies are doing. But the Western companies are further ahead on doing these phase 3 studies. And so if those come out well and they're offered at low cost, I doubt there'll be a lot of Russian or Chinese vaccine going outside of those countries.
Yeah, we know. You've already told all your CEO buddies, don't worry, I'll keep them at bay. Fine. And then we always have to have the anti-vaxxer question come up, which I think he's used this term before, but he just pops it right out, and I think we should pay attention to more people using it.
Yeah, vaccine hesitancy is in all countries and predates the pandemic. Even with the polio eradication that it's been ongoing now for several decades and hopefully is very close to completion. We saw very bad rumors about the polio vaccine, that it was from the U.S., it was to sterilize women.
Didn't that actually happen with that polio? I thought that actually happened, that some Nigerian women who received the polio vaccine were sterilized. I guess it's just a rumor.
And so in places like Nigeria, we had to go to the religious leaders, talk to them, have them.
Now, if you could stop saying, it's kind of interesting what he says.
It triggers me. I'm triggered by this guy and not being able to say one full sentence without throwing, in there.
To go to the religious leaders, talk to them, have them speak out, vaccinate their children.
I like this. Very interesting. Go to the religious leaders. Sounds very similar to, Mr. Collins there, Francis Collins, Anthony Fauci's boss, who is writing paper after paper over how really to take the vaccine is godly, is Christian, because it is loving thy neighbor. So it's the same playbook, only in this case, the religious leaders also happen to be the leaders of the National Health Institute.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
By that logic, wouldn't shooting yourself in the head do the same thing and it's a loving thy neighbor thing?
Oh, gosh.
Thus, the edicts against suicide are negated because now you're doing it because you love your neighbor.
Oh, yeah. Stuff can go on and on like this. But here, this is their strategy. They did it in Nigeria. Now they're doing it here.
Have them speak out, vaccinate their children. So understand.
I like that. Hey, you've got to tell them this vaccine is good and we're vaccinating your children.
The trust network. Who is it that you view as an expert? Very few people can look at the formulation or data directly. And so, here in the U.S., we should already be thinking about which voices will help reduce the hesitancy. And so we can get a level of vaccination that really has a chance of stopping the transmission. Sadly, face masks and even the vaccine are some more politicized here than in other countries.
Yeah, okay, that's not true. Face masks are hugely politicized in many countries, and I can't wait to see what voices you want to have telling us how safe the vaccine is. Will they be naked celebrities? Because I like laughing at that.
But I think there are responsible people in both parties that as we get this tool, will try and persuade their followers, look, here's what we did. We need to get the first 20% of people, those at greatest risk, to vaccinate. And then when people see that going well, I think we'll get the follow-on.
So final clip, Bill always gets a little sloppy on these things, and truth came out here again. This is about the social media. What is the role of big tech in censoring disinformation and bad things that will cause people to kill themselves because they can't read or whatever it is? So this is the question that Bill always answers.
Well, there's certainly a human weakness that very titillating things like, that somebody intentionally made this virus.
Or that someone was flying with Jeffrey Epstein and actually he introduced you to some of the vaccine people and and you did grants together.
Or that there's some conspiracy. Those things can spread very quickly, and the digital platforms allows that sort of
what? I think it's a Tourette's thing.
The digital platforms allows that sort of
I can just imagine him going wow
very quickly, and the digital platforms allows that sort of I need to get this out. That stuff spreads so much faster than the truth, which is, it comes from a bat.
Oh,
still trying to figure out the exact
bat. Hold on a second. Stop.
The truth.
Let me ask you a question because you heard these clips. I didn't hear these, although I should have because I would have been laughing harder. So within this context, they found a bat that had the COVID-19, that virus, SARS-CoV-2. They actually found a bat that had this particular screwball virus within the bat's structure. It was within his batch of viruses that he's got in his mouth and wherever. They did find one, finally, because there's never been an animal yet to be found with SARS-CoV-2. This just has not been found, but they found one. Yes?
No, I believe it was Randy from Integrity Farms who boned the bat. I thought that's how it worked. Oh, you didn't? Did you see South Park at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
Is that how it worked? That's how they did it? That's gross.
And then, but he did it with Mickey Mouse. I mean, it's an interesting storyline. So no, they don't.
What it stems from? What? Little history? That stems from how syphilis got to the Western world.
Oh, nice parallel.
You know about this?
Yes, I think I do recall this story. Nice parallel.
Syphilis was a naturally occurring bacteria in llamas. Thank you, conquistadores.
Is that what Christopher Columbus was doing?
Well, somebody was.
All right. So no, but now he's saying it's just not true. It came from a bat. We don't really know how it worked yet. Please, Bill, come on, man. Come on now.
And the truth,
man.
Which is, it comes from a bat. We're still trying to figure out the exact path of transmission. You don't forward that the same way that you would the conspiracy. And so how the social media companies should either slow down.
Oh, I like this. Slow down. That means algorithmically hiding, shadow banning, etc.
The social media companies should either slow down or annotate things that actually cause huge damage, like not wearing masks or, not being willing to take the vaccine if it proves that it is this key tool to getting back to normal. Things like micro-targeting can, go probably too far.
What I'm not sure what he's saying here. Things like micro-targeting. So what does he want to do, micro-target? What do you want to target? Is he talking about social media companies now or needles? I'm not sure what he wants to target.
Micro-targeting is referring to the system where you'd have everyone with a phone app and then you'd find groups of people or families that maybe, I don't know. I'm just guessing, but it's bearing down on certain individuals that may catch it or that have done contact tracing. I don't know.
All right.
It just sounds bad.
Well, pay attention because the truth's about to come out here.
This key tool to getting back to normal. Things like micro-targeting can, go probably too far. Some level of fact-checking is valuable. You don't want to get to the full Chinese solution. They at least, they have the propaganda department tells people what things to censor and what not to censor.
Now, I want to play that bit again. And you tell me what is wrong with what he's saying about we don't want to go with the Chinese solution.
Some level of fact-checking is valuable. You don't want to get to the full Chinese solution. They at least, they have the propaganda department tells people.
Do you hear what he's saying? What he wanted to say, and he corrects himself, is, well, they at least have a good propaganda department who tells people like it is. And then he corrects himself on the they at least bit. I think he really thinks it's the way to go. They at least, listen.
Is valuable. You don't want to get to the full Chinese solution. They at least, they have the propaganda department tells people what things.
It sounds to me like he's advocating for that. He likes it. They at least have that. We don't even have that. We don't have a good propaganda. Am I reading too much into this?
The problem is I really have trouble parsing what he's actually saying. He's mumbling like he always does, and he says, before he says propaganda, he says they believe or something. Is that what the words were? I don't know. You may be reading too much into it, but to be honest about it, he's bleh. He's terrible at he's not making things clear.
We'll finish it up.
You don't want to get to the full Chinese solution. They at least, they have the propaganda department tells people what things to censor and what not to censor. So, they put huge numbers of people, and at least it's black and white for companies that operate there. We don't want that. And so, what mix of actors comes in and at what scale of misinformation do you really bring in some review process? So no, I think, we've teed up a question and now we need smart solutions, which I have not seen.
Where did this come from? This clip?
This is from the Wall Street Journal CEO forum from earlier in the week. Oh
my God, does he just yak and yak and yak and yak and yak?
He was also the headliner. He was at the end. He was like the big kahuna for this thing.
Oh, jeez, what a boring! He's getting worse than he was when he was younger. When he was younger, at least he had some concise points to make. He just rambles.
Yeah.
And he's gone, and he's groaning and moaning. It sounds like he's taking a dump right through the thing. It's unbelievably bad.
And maybe he's tired of it, too. Maybe he's tired of everything. He's probably tired of his wife.
Well, why does he go to these things then? Does he need the money?
No.
Does he need to promote the foundation because we've never heard of them?
They're blackmailing him. How many times do I have to tell him?
Nobody's blackmailing him. He's an egomaniac. He's off the deep end. He's off the rails.
Yeah, he is. But they're blackmailing him with all the Epstein stuff. The eating babies. Come on.
What's the Wall Street Journal going to say to him like that? Then the Wall Street Journal's not a blackmailing operation.
No, it's much bigger than that. He's just told what message to give. That's it. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about his wife. He doesn't care about any of this stuff. He's a creep.
Well, he's actually not a bad guy, and he's got a good sense of humor. I just don't understand how he got into this. And
maybe in the past,
CEO of the world's health.
Yeah, but see, that's kind of narcissistic. He's crazy.
Think?
He's crazy. He's gone.
Yeah, I think
off the deep end.
Crazy. I think he is. I agree.
Too bad about Eddie Van Halen. That's a little bit young.
Yeah, he had some sort of cancer, I guess.
Well, he had throat cancer. And,
was he a smoker?
Oh, yeah. He always had like the guys used to like to do that, stick a burning cigarette
in the strings of the guitar.
Yeah, in the neck. Yeah, he was one of those. He was one of those.
Oh, well.
But I knew him. I knew Eddie and Alex. They're Dutch originally.
Oh, I did. Well, yeah, it's funny that you say that because he has a Dutch look.
Yeah, Van Halen, and somewhere I couldn't. It was kind of funny because, to me at least, I'm looking online and what everyone does, and it was kind of my first impulse as well. And like, no, I'm not going to do this. What everyone does is they're rip, love and light, too soon, and it all has to be. Here I am with Eddie. I met Eddie I was hanging. Everyone has a picture and like, oh yeah, oh, he was such a great guy, and of course he was a great guy. As far as I knew him, the picture I have is where he and when they hooked up with Sammy Hagar, they were doing promotion. They came to my show. And so they went short hair. You may not remember, but they all went, when Sammy came in, then they went, we're going to do short hair. And they came in with scissors and were running around the studio trying to cut my hair off at the time. So I have a picture of that, but I'm glad I didn't post it. Seems like so douchey. If I die, do not post pictures of you with me. I want pictures of me with the head on a stick.
There are no pictures of you and me.
I'm talking to other people. No, there's really no pictures of you and I together. I don't think so. Tina may have one from Grand Duke Foley's place. But that's it. That's it. Anyway, just wanted to say I felt bad about that. You did do the 5150 donation. Did anyone do that?
Couple. Take a look. I don't think it was, these kind of promotional donations really don't catch on usually. But this one, here we go. Yeah, we got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got a couple dozen, maybe 20, 30.
Good.
Oh, no, not that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got 11. Yeah, well, so, 11.
So have you been following Obamagate? The latest
a little bit.
The latest classified releases.
It keeps going up, and it doesn't get covered. It's hilarious to watch the way the news media handles it.
In fact, John Brennan has a book out. He's right in the middle of all of this stuff. It's certainly of the most recent revelations and the declassified papers, which they're declassified, but they still have redactions. And Brennan is promoting his book, went on the Today Show as if nothing's happened. He's just talking about the president.
Well, first of all, I hope Donald Trump has a full recovery, a speedy recovery. I do believe that the American people need to have two healthy candidates in this election so that the will of the American people can be realized. I am concerned about the reported side effects of some of the medications that he's been taking in terms of additional confusion, aggression, impulsiveness. The last thing we need is for Donald Trump to be more confused, more impulsive, more aggressive. But also, I think that there is great distraction and preoccupation within the White House right now, understandably, about Donald Trump's health as well as the health of the White House staff. And so their ability to respond quickly to a crisis, whether it be a domestic crisis or a foreign crisis, I think is questionable.
Oh, please. So I have an explanation of what just came out and what has just been released and its relevance. I had to go to the Liberty Report, the Ron Paul Liberty Report, to get a decent overview that is not 18 hours long, minute and a half, and this will bring you up to speed. And the guy you just heard, that Brennan guy, I think he's going to jail.
John Ratcliffe, the DNI, declassified former CIA Director John Brennan's handwritten notes showing that he briefed President Obama on a plan by Hillary Clinton, planning quotes, to tie then-candidate Trump, and this is July of 16, to tie then-candidate Trump to Russia, quote, as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server. And we know what happened when they launched that plot. They went over, and we know that she hired Steele to make the Steele dossier, which turns out was an absolute pack of lies cooked up by some kooky former spook himself. That's what she did. Now listen to this. These are the handwritten notes. Here's what Brennan, who A, is no friend of the Russians, and B, is no friend of Trump. Here's what he wrote in his notes. We're getting additional insight into Russian activities from, redacted, that's a source, site, summarizing alleged approval by Hillary Clinton, a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by the Russian security service. And he appears to have not only briefed Obama on this, but apparently, according to his notes, seemingly Susan Rice, James Comey, and Obama's own chief of staff. And one of the things that's fascinating about this is that this originated in the intelligence community, and they sent what's called an investigative lead to the FBI. Check this out. Looks like Trump's got some scandal here with the Russians. They asked Comey last week, hey, do you remember this lead that came over from the CIA? No, doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell.
It's so fantastic to be alive right now. The documents are there. It's handwritten note by John Brennan. Everything you just heard is documented. And it was Hillary Clinton's plan to cover up the email issue with some scandal about Trump and Russia. Got Steele in the Steele dossier into it. Obama was briefed on it. Comey was briefed on. It was John Brennan who said, "Hey, this heads up." And excuse me, where's Fox News? There's no mainstream out there. They must be scared shitless about this.
Somebody's scared.
There has to be.
But yeah, you made the best point of the whole show. Where's Fox News?
Yeah.
Those big phonies at Fox News.
Well, where's Tucker on this? I'd like to see Tucker Carlson do
where's
a bit
Tucker?
on this. Everyone's always lauding him, and I appreciate a lot of what he does, but it's really not important compared to this.
No, this is a major scandal. Head of the CIA pulling this stuff. No one's even grilled the guy about why he turned into a Muslim out of the blue.
No, well, we'll get that for you. That'll be the answer we get for you. We'll have some senator or congressman ask that. Why'd you become a Muslim?
Yeah, what was that all about? Who are you trying to impress?
I just find this really, it's unbelievable, and the whole Flynn stuff with these judges who just won't quit, and it's not in your news cycle. I don't care what you watch, you've got to go find it and find someone at least has a copy of it, and then it's okay. My job is getting boring in that regard because you just know you're not going to get anyone talking about anything of any substance.
There's no news deconstruction. Well, the news deconstruction is almost reversed now. It's like we have the story that somebody else produced and put out.
Yeah.
Where's the news people? Where's the New York Times? Where's the WAPO? Where's the Washington Post? Where's CNN? Where's MSNBC? Where's Rachel Maddow?
Yeah. No.
None of them.
No. It's all phony.
They're all mums. Then again, where's Fox?
Yeah. It's all phony.
I found this to be an interesting story. This is kind of an off-the-wall thing here. This was a democracy. I picked up a lot of stuff from Amy in the last couple of shows because she's on a rampage now that Trump's all drugged up. And in fact, let's try a couple of ISOs out.
Okay.
I have from Amy again, drugged up. ISO.
Now he's drugged up.
Yeah, I like it. Good presence too on the good audio.
Now he's drugged up.
Drugged up. Okay, he's drugged up. I like that one. It's good. It's good.
Now, the other I like it too. I wish he would have had a different inflection on the word up. Now he's drugged up. It should have been now he's drugged up, but that's okay. I got science.
Science doesn't know.
No, drugged up is much better. Much, much better.
Now he's drugged up.
Oh, yeah, it's already in the end of show slot. It's dynamite.
Okay, I get it sold. Sold.
We're,
So wait, I want to play this clip.
Sure. Amy.
This is Dems Go After Tech, and I want to ask a question about this clip after she reads this off. What's going on here?
Yes.
Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google are facing accusations by House Democrats of engaging in anti-competitive monopoly-style tactics. On Tuesday, the House's top antitrust panel released a 450-page report urging the big tech firms be broken up and for the rewriting of antitrust laws.
Yes, I have the report. It's in the show notes.
Is this a guy? Are they trying to they got tech is a bunch of Democrats recently. This only happened, by the way, in the last 20 years.
Well,
before that, tech was always Republican.
It actually happened after Ayn Rand became popular again, if you recall. All of the Silicon Valley guys were doing Ayn Rand, and then that flipped, and they all became Democrats.
I'm not going to argue that because that is the timing. But before that, and if you went back long enough, 20, 30 years in particular, everyone was a Republican, especially the semiconductor guys. But okay, they're all Democrats now, and they are big-time Democrats. They donate a lot of money. Is this what we just heard in this report? Is this, hey, you guys aren't giving us enough money? Because this is a gouge. This is an insight. This you don't bite the hand that feeds you like this unless you're trying to get more money out of them. And that's the way the Democrats would operate, I think, with high tech, because these guys are so stupid about politics. They're just, they're just all in. They without any knowledge. They have no foundations in political science or the humanities. They're all technical people.
Well, I don't believe the headline that they're being broken up. It's a lot of pages. We had a lot of other stuff going on, so I haven't done the diligence I want. But I will continue for Sunday's show. But just so you know, this report is from two people. David Cicilline, who's the chairman and subcommittee of the Judiciary on Antitrust, and, of course, the chairman of the Committee on the Judiciary, Jerry Nadler. And the way I read just some of what is in this 400-page report seems like exactly what certainly Mark Zuckerberg would want is regulations. He wants regulations. He wants to have a competitive edge by being big enough to comply. And I see a lot of this in here. I will have a better breakdown.
That's an interesting take.
I will have a better breakdown, but it doesn't feel to me like they're going after him at all.
Okay, well, let's take the thing to a further extreme, something I have trouble accepting, but obviously if I just try to be logical, I'll come up with this. If these guys are sincere Democrats, and we're talking about the tech community in the San Francisco, if they're sincere Democrats, and I will assume they are, because a true Democrat wants a more socialistic system. They want more regulation. So that would back up your thesis. Mm-hmm. In fact, instead of I'm thinking in old terms, why would they, what mania? Because they're the ones who bitched and moaned when the internet first came around. Oh my God, once the government gets involved, we're going to, the internet's going to be hosed.
It'll be all over.
But these guys want regulations, and you listen to them, they want net neutrality as regulations.
Yeah. There's a conclusions page, and I was just reading through it, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like anything really bad. And let me just hear that Amy's report. She hasn't read this shit.
Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google are facing accusations by House Democrats of engaging in anti-competitive monopoly-style tactics. On Tuesday, the House's top antitrust panel released a 450-page report urging the big tech firms be broken up and for the rewriting of antitrust laws.
Rewriting of antitrust laws, absolutely. And of course they want that. Now they'll have a hand in rewriting the antitrust rules so they can. It has to happen. A lot of this is about Amazon more than, and Amazon somehow is universally hated. It's definitely not so much about going after Facebook. I think there's a kind of, well, you're going to have to split off Instagram. I don't think that's ever going to happen. That's so integrated, such a piece of what they're doing. But Amazon, a lot of accusations against them. You see them pop into the top, and it's about them being very anti-competitive by tracking what products do, and then coming up with their own product, featuring their own product above others. It's what they do.
Shocker! I'm shocked.
It's what they do, and
it's what anybody does.
And I think that I think Amazon is the odd man out in this. It seems like Jeff Bezos can't do enough. He has a $1 billion stadium, not enough for Black Lives Matter. He gets guillotines outside his house. He's seen as the universal evil. He really has replaced Bill Gates as evil within millennials.
The bald head and that big eyeball doesn't help.
I tell the checkout whenever I'm at Whole Foods, which is not a lot lately because I find them to be really substandard in anything but maybe some. I like their meat products, but you can't get anything normal. It's like, have you ever tried to get Saran wrap at Whole Foods? Well, no, because they
don't have it.
No, they don't have it. Of course not. But I'm always telling the checkout people and saying, and they say, "Well, are you Amazon Prime member?" I said, "No, don't. Jeff Bezos doesn't need to know what I eat." And if I get a laugh, I'll say, "Hey, have you ever seen his eyeball?" What? Look, he's got one eyeball. It's really huge. Some have said, "Oh yeah, I noticed that. What is that?" I said, I don't know, man. He's got your eye. He's got his eye on you.
Ibolitis.
Austin, Texas. Just a quickie side note. We are on the tip of the defund the police, which is why there is now also a recall Mayor Adler, not just for that, but for many other reasons. And they've started now, and it's so stupid. We have something called code enforcement in Austin. And I think we talked about this when I just moved here years ago. And they have kind of cop car looking vehicles, says Austin code enforcement. They have a uniform. I think they may have a patch. I don't think it's an actual shield badge, but they're the ones that go around and see if you're using your sprinkler on the wrong day. And
what? This is like that. There's people in England that bitch and moan.
The brownies. The brownies that go around.
Mm-hmm. You put a bottle in your garbage. It should have been in recycling. We're going to fine you £5.
Yeah. In the Netherlands, they have them now too. They're called. What are they called? Something with a B. So it's all kind of the version of the same thing. It's an
Karen, professional
Karens, exactly. So what they've decided, BOA, that's what they're calling them in Holland. Someone give me the translation of what the acronym means. So we have that in Austin, and they're just kind of like, what are you doing? So the brilliant plan is to move money away from the cops and put more into the code enforcement, because they can certainly take on a lot more. I mean, they can certainly when there's like COVID reports, someone has too many people in their backyard. Yeah, these are the guys you're going to send. These are not people who are ready to stand up to a perhaps rowdy, perhaps somewhat inebriated crowd who does not
gun toters
of Texans who you're telling they have to stop partying. But okay, here's a quick report.
After summer protests, the Austin City Council said that it wants to reimagine public safety and policing.
KXAN's Avery Travis.
Reimagine, please take note what we're doing here in Austin.
Yeah, reimagine.
We're reimagining it.
It wants to reimagine public safety and policing.
KXAN's Avery Travis spoke with the chair of the city's Public Safety Committee about how he thinks code enforcement officers could play an important role.
Loud party next door? Think a neighbor's operating an illegal short-term rental? Suspicious person outside, or your alarm going off? Do you call 311? or 911.
A third of the calls that officers are responding to have no threat to property or life.
After taking a closer look at a 911 call analysis, City Council member Jimmy Flanagan thinks there's an opportunity to call on code enforcement officers instead of police for lower priority situations.
Might be more cost effective. We might be able to have more folks out on the street. We might be able to have a different type of response.
But right now, code only operates from 7 in the morning to 8 at night. So he's proposing city staff figure out how to adjust or optimize their operations.
And by the time code enforcement shows up, the thing isn't happening anymore.
Oh, this is going to be great. I can't wait, because I've seen them. You know, these are level security guards.
They're
like mall cops.
Yeah, they're somewhere in between a security guard and a meter maid.
Yeah, and I don't want to disparage it, but I actually feel that...
Oh, you should.
No, I feel...
I think that, I'll tell you what, first big party that does the following, films a guy, some code enforcement weenie comes in, you know, I think your party's making too much noise, the neighbor complained. They grab the guy, pants him. You got to pants the guy. And I don't talk about just the outside pad, the whole thing.
You
naked.
mean like a wedgie? A wedgie?
No, you take his pants off, and then you throw him in the pool. I mean, that's what you do to these guys. A couple of these guys. And then, that's what you do.
That's called a pantsing? A pantsing?
Pantsing, yeah. Yes,
I did not know of this term. Okay.
Pantsing, well, yeah. Pantsing is you pull the pants down.
Oh, that would...
And you...
That would
pants the guy.
That would certainly be a way to reimagine.
Reimagining enforcement.
I love the idea.
We'll pants the guy, throw him in the pool.
I like it. Pants him, throw him in the pool. All right, I'm all in.
So, fun times.
That's where we're. I guess that's a part of building back better.
Building back better.
Pants. Yeah. You get pants. Building back better. Sports. I got a sports I have a sports segment for you.
No, you think it's sports, but go on.
No, I got a sports segment. I got a great sports segment. First of all, it's about basketball. You know, I took a little bit of interest in basketball. Very, very poor performance by King LeBron, walking off the court during the finals before the game is even over. It's okay because no one saw it. Finals Game 2 ratings crashed by 68%, the least watched finals in game history. Gee, do you think it's maybe because we're tired of seeing all your messaging? What happened to just a Nike logo? That felt much better. And now we have Irving and Kevin, is it Kyrie?
Kyrie, yes.
Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. They are about to welcome a new coach for the Brooklyn Nets, which is Steve Nash, as you well know. These guys have gone full noodle boy. I mean, this is kind of scary what they're doing. They want, well, let me play it for you. Here is, I don't know if this is Durant or Irving. Listen to this.
But also, when you get to know him as a person, you understand why he can coexist with us, because we don't need somebody to come in and put their coaching philosophy on everything that we're doing and change up the wheel. And, you guys need to start doing this. And we start running on the first day of practice. It's just like, no. I need somebody that's going to understand that I am a human being first. I serve my community and where I come from first. And then basketball is something I come and do every single day because I love, and also I have the right ingredients and people around me to come in and do my job at a high level, and I know that they will hold me accountable to that level.
So he doesn't want to coach in the traditional sense, if I understand it, which is kind of like coach is kind of the boss.
Yeah, sit down, your turn, get up, do this, run this play, do that. Yeah.
No, he wants the coach to coexist because of, and for some reason,
noodle boy.
I think he brought in his race for some reason. Like, I know where I come from.
Well, Steve Nash is white, so.
Oh, okay. Let's listen to another little thing that they expect.
And now he's the head coach, and I think it's also going to change the way we see coaches. I don't really see us having a head coach. You know what I mean? Like, KD could be a head coach. I could be a head coach.
Jacques Vaughn could do it one day. It's a collaborative effort, I think, on our part.
Oh, okay. This is Noodle Boy. This is Noodle Boy.
Yeah, totally. It's totally Noodle Boy. It's right from the same script.
How can we bet against? Is there a way I can make money on this?
Noodle power!
We must be able to make money make money on these
voting. I mean, you just bet against the team. I mean, there's a
Brooklyn Nets. Oh boy! I mean that
fire the game. I mean that Kyrie Irving is also the guy. Of course, you may think higher of him because of this, but was a notorious flat earther to the point where the entire league was making fun of him, and he had to kind of back off. And
why would you think I think highly of him now? What are you saying about
well, you brought up the flat earth thing on the show as though there was some validity to it.
Yeah, and then and I got scoffed on by you, and that ended the second half of show.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
And we do have a few people to thank for show 12. I don't know what it is, 85?
1284.
84. Mm-hmm. And I do want to mention in our last show, you had a second half of show.
Which you also said was no good.
Well, it wasn't because it wasn't really it wasn't second half of show material.
Right.
Second half of show stuff, I think, for example, should be a discussion of whether or not, I mean, why is this the kind of thing that's going on with the deep state and Trump? Can we maybe discuss that Trump is possibly an alien? That's second half of show. Okay. Let's thank, starting off with Baroness Monica in Drayton, and it's Changeling, 12840 in Drayton Valley, Alberta. She says she could stop receiving the newsletter.
Uh-oh. That happened to me, too. Remember I got a weird unsubscribe or something? I said.
Oh, yes, and you sent it to me, and I had no idea why you got that. Very strange.
Yeah. Well, you can resubscribe.
Yes, it's very easy to do.
It's a tip.
Dame Dane in Fredericksburg, is that Czech Republic?
Switzerland.
I think so.
Switzerland.
Oh, no, that would be Switzerland. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, well,
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I need to read this for a second. This is Dame Dane. Follow up on the jobs karma she asked for last year for her husband, the mainframe DBA guy named Ben. Remember, we're looking for COBOL?
Yes, mainframe Ben.
It worked. He got the job, but producers, please take note. When your future boss calls you weeks before you start, offering you a substantial raise and tells you that he hopes you'll stay more than a year on the day you start, you should smell a rat. Oh, and indeed, there was a great rotten rat here. My husband was bullied by coworkers so much that he is now on sick leave with a bleeding ulcer. What the heck? And he's facing getting fired when he returns from his sick leave, as the bullying coworker is the king of the systems and therefore untouchable. Wow. That guy is a douchebag. I would therefore very much like a health karma to fix his poor tummy and another jobs karma from as he tackles. Yes, we'll do a special health and jobs karma at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Dame Dane. That's horrible. I don't like hearing that.
Well, I don't know what kind of jobs karma it was. Sir Andrew in Greensboro, North Carolina, 100. We've got a happy birthday to Baron Bob coming up. John Sullivan and there's a way of pronouncing this, and I don't know what it is. Methuen. It's Methuen.
I'd say Methuen, yeah.
Something like that, in Massachusetts.
And he's a Roganite.
A Roganite.
And seeks a de-douching only.
You've been de-douched.
Thank you, John Sullivan.
Ian Whidden in Kodiak, Alaska. Kodiak, nice. He's in Kodiak, and he's got a birthday call to Uncle Cave Bear. It's $100 from him. Steve Webb, 7777. He's marching to knighthood. Anonymous, Philadelphia, PA, $75. Anything there? Well, you can read that and get back to me. Aaron Newberry in Aurora, Colorado, 7333. Jean-Paul Delahaye in Best.
Jean-Paul Delahaye, probably.
Delahaye in Best.
From the Netherlands, yes.
5631. Sir Marcus of the Hinterland in... Wow, we got a lot of funny city names today. Doubtfetal. Doubtfetal. Deutschland.
D-A-T-P-H-E-T. Doubtfetal. Doubtfetal. I think there's a T too many in there.
Doubtfetal. Doubtfetal. Matthew Winterer in Plymouth, Minnesota. That's 53-33. Or Sir Marcus, by the way, is 55-22. Lord Michael Gates, Baron of the rest of Colorado, 5280. Colorado Springs. Patrick Bomer, 5150. And this is the 5150 is our Eddie Van Halen and donation. I'm going to read this
on Patrick for 1 second. He's recovering from a stroke, but at least he's keeping his amygdala small by listening to us in these crazy times. And he said the Eddie news was hard to take. Big F cancer for all who listen. Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, so here's the 5150s for in tribute.
And here's the 5150s, starting with Patrick, and then Slart Bartfast, keeper of the Crinkly Bits, Luke Woodley in Cheltenham, Victoria, Australia, Sir Big Papa Moose of the Ogallala Aquifer in Liberal, Kansas, Sir Schwartz, dude named Mohammed.
Hey.
Yeah, he came in with,
Yeah, haven't seen him.
We got a lot of dudes. Actually, we have more than one dude named Mohammed.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sir Lee Mofo. His Grace Sir Kevin McLaughlin, Duke of Luna, lover of America and boobs. Brian Hasty, Arthur Little Guitar. Brian Hasty is in Hudson, Wisconsin. Arthur Little Guitars Brewer in Madisonville, Tennessee. Michael Coupon, and that's it. Onward with the last of the other median donations. Unsheathed Third Eye with 5150. Parts unknown. And now we have $50 donors. Again, name and location. Matthias Milchinsky in Stevenson Ranch, California. That's my best guess. Timothy Pascariello in Hamburg, New Jersey. Melissa Simonin. Mary Huey. Or Hoey. Huey is Hoey. Hoey. Or Hoey. Edward Mazurik, who I believe is a knight in Memphis, Tennessee. Sir Haymoose of the Piedmont Province in Mooresville, North Carolina. A lot of North Carolinians that listen to the show.
Well, there was a big meetup, I think. Didn't they have a meetup? Or was that a South Carolina meetup? That's just cool.
It was a South Carolina. They have big groups everywhere. Jeff Koch in Portland, Oregon, 50. Jonathan Meyer in Xenia, Ohio. James Darter in Oklahoma City. Villarreal in Mercedes, Texas. Christopher Rivera in Austin. Joel DeRuin in Bakersfield, and I believe he is a Sir Joel. Also, I think Jeffrey Zinneman is a Sir in Euclid, Ohio. Requests he needs jobs karma. We'll put that at the end for you. And Sir Jason DeLuzio in Chatsford, Pennsylvania. And that is our group of not associate, but just regular producers for show 1284.
And remember, it's your time, your talent, and your treasure. All of that is valid. Whatever you think this is worth to you, just put it back one way or the other. And we've been doing it. Well, October 26th will be 13 years. And doing it with great pleasure. And thank you all so much for producing this show. Also, thank you to those who came in under $50 for anonymity, or you're on one of those sustaining donations to subscriptions to find out more about those and to help the show and produce 1285, which will be on Sunday. Just go to
Dvorak.org/NA.
Let's get all those karmas that everybody needs.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
It's your birthday.
Well, we are moving towards that 13th anniversary, today being the 8th, not far away. And today we have Lynn Smith saying happy birthday to her son Alex, who will celebrate on the 11th of October. Sir Andrew says happy birthday to Baron Bob of High Point. His birthday will be in 2 days on the 10th. Ian Whitten, happy birthday to his brother Sir Uncle Cave Bear. And Miss Ann says happy birthday to Netney. And we say happy birthday to all from all here at the best podcast in the universe. It's your birthday, yeah. 1, 2, yeah, we have 2 knightings, so this will be groovy. If you can get...
Yeah, let me get this baby out.
Oh, nice. Up on stage, Andre Adams, Scott Minton, both of you about to join us here at the round table of No Agenda Knights and Dames, where we celebrate those and honor those who have supported the show in the amount of $1,000 or more. Today, both of you qualify, and I am proud to pronounce the Sir Real ID of the Nashville Nether Regions and Servant Knight of the Orange. Gentlemen, for you, we have Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys, and Chardonnay. We've got 30-year-old Lafroig and Stitchelton cheese. Man, that's good stuff. Also, we got Bong Hits and Bourbon, Geishas and Sake, Ginger Ale and Gerbils, Breast Milk and Pablum, and obviously Mutton and Mead. And for those who don't know it by now, to collect your night package, which is a signet ring with sealing wax and an official certification, all you need to do now is go to noagendanation.com/rings, and Eric the Shill will take all those details and get it out to you as soon as possible. And thank you again for producing 1284 of the best podcast in the universe. No agenda. Got a lot of nice pictures. Dame Jennifer sent pictures of their meetup. Don't have any other meetup reports, but can give you the overview of what's happening tomorrow. That's the 9th of October. There's the Zurich Sanity meetup at 6 o'clock. That is European summertime at Rivington and Sons Bar. Also, the Southern Chillinoisian meetup. That is at Nicholas Brewery in the Hotel De Coin. Sir Raleigh Hawk and Joseph Hawkins hosting that. Brand new for Saturday, we have the Midland, Texas meetup at 2 p.m., and that will be organized by Sir Michael of Calgary and Vegas, and you want to meet at Rusty Buckets. Also on Saturday, the Okie Town South Side, 2 o'clock at the Garage. No Agenda Local 512 F. Austin October meetup will be at Willie's Joint Bar and Grill in Buda, Texas. Lovely Buda. Of course, Sir Scott, Baronet of the No Agenda Armory, is taking care of that. Also on Saturday, the Nashville COVID reopening phase 33 TBA secret location. On Sunday, Dortmund meetup in Deutschland. Thomas needs some input on that, so make sure you go to noagendameetups.com. On the 12th, Denver City Park sit-in. This is yet another one of their fabulous sit-ins. And we have, what was a special mention on March 6th, Texas Fly Fishing and Brewfest. 20 people can attend. Wow, that sounds pretty cool. See No Agenda Meetups for details. And then, of course, we have Tuesday, October 13th. This is the big meetup in Vegas. Looks like we have a venue. We got Sir Patrick organizing, Dame Angela, who's in Vegas. We get Eric the Shill and the whole family. The Keeper and I will be there, 53 people. It's a secret location because of some regulations, so we have to be careful about what we're doing over there, so we don't want anyone to know. You do need to RSVP to get the details. It'd be great if we can see more people there. NoAgendaMeetups.com. If there's not a meetup there near you, then why don't you just start one yourself? It's like a party.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be triggered or held to blame. You want to be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
Yeah. Like a big party.
A few extra things that are going on here. I don't know if I should make. I have a last show end of show clip.
Okay.
But before we do that, let's play a couple of random clips that I also have. I want to play this one for sure. This is Amy doing a report on the Supreme Court, and she can't really do this. Well, this is basically just smearing Amy Coney Barrett. And the clip is the clip smearing. I have AC in here. I got that wrong, but this is Amy smearing Amy Coney Barrett.
More details have emerged about Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett's involvement in the secretive, highly patriarchal religious group People of Praise. Members of the group pledge a lifelong loyalty oath, assigning each member a personal advisor known as heads for men and, until recently, handmaids for women. Evidence has emerged that both Barrett and her mother have served as handmaids within the group. Meanwhile, The Guardian has revealed Barrett once lived in the home of the co-founder of People of Praise while she was in law school at Notre Dame. Barrett's confirmation hearing is set to begin on October 12th.
You know, this handmaids thing is kind of annoying because what everyone immediately goes to is, oh, well, that's like The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
But it's not really.
No.
It's the handmaiden. Hold on, I actually wrote it down for the last show.
It's an old term. It's an old term anyway.
How do you understand this term? The handmaid.
It's just like a handler.
No. There's a handmaid.
Let's look it up in the Book of Knowledge and read from the definition.
Okay. Well, I will open the Book of Knowledge, and then you can read it.
Too.
I had this somewhere. What do you have? Handmaid. It's something about the Virgin Mary. It's not just.
No, I don't know this part.
Yeah, hold on. I'm a little pissed. I wasn't expecting this. I had it in the show before, the last show. Let me see if I have it in my notes here.
Okay, here it is. The handmaid here is a female servant, is what it is in the basic dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
A subservient partner or element.
I got it here.
Okay, good.
Handmaid is a reference to the Virgin Mary who says she is the handmaid of the Lord. Has nothing to do with Handmaid's Tale. Handmaid's Tale.
No, of course it doesn't.
Virgin Mary is the handmaid of the Lord. That's what it is.
All right. Well, simple enough, but that's okay. Let's smear her anyway. You know, Amy likes to sneak.
Well, of course, we're going to smear her, obviously.
She smears. She has these little ways of smearing things. I got a clip from her where she adds a little smear at the end. This is the weapons couple. This is the couple that we all saw. You know, the woman holding the little gun and the guy with a Uzi outside their palatial mansion.
An Uzi.
That was something.
AK. It was AK.
Okay, it was an AK. Was it an AK or was it a...
It was an AK.
Whatever it was,
yeah.
The AR-15, I don't know what it was. But it was a rifle, and she had a little handgun. She's holding it. It looked like a cigarette lighter. And
the way she held it did.
Yeah. So, yeah, would you light? Maybe that's what she's doing. She's asking anyone if they wanted a light.
Can I light your cigar?
Can I light your joint? So they got busted, and so here's the way, and everybody, they're horrible people for just standing on their porch with a gun. But let's listen to the way she presents it.
Back in the United States, a grand jury in Missouri has indicted a wealthy white St. Louis couple who brandished guns at Black Lives Matter protesters who marched by their home in June. Mark and Patricia McCloskey were charged with unlawful use of a weapon and evidence tampering, both felonies. In August, the couple spoke at the Republican National Convention.
Oh, brother.
They got to slip that in. What is their speaking at the Republican convention got to do with the story? I'm just asking from anybody's perspective. Well, so what?
Well, you know why, obviously.
Of course, yeah, it was association.
Does anyone watch Democracy Now? I know you do, but it's so good. I just wonder if more people are watching it because it's good entertainment.
It is entertaining.
I like it a lot.
Do you have anything I would have...
No.
You want me to play my last clip?
Yeah, let's do that. Last clip.
Well, this clip also might need a little discussion so you don't roll right out of the show with it.
Okay.
But this was sent to me by a producer, or he sent part of it. I had to go and get the whole thing because I wanted the beginning of this and before she got into her little spiel. This is a show that's a newer podcast. I think they got, 50 or 60 episodes maybe in the can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of an up-tempo, lefty thing. It's called How Did This Get Made? And they do these... Yeah, well, it's How Did This Get Made? and it is a usually it's not poorly produced, it's well produced, but it's got this little bit. She's got this bit that she's going to do. First, she's going to introduce herself. This woman, she's going to do little mini episodes. They do long format shows and then little half-hour ones. This is a short one, and she talks too much about herself. And she goes on, and then she does a spiel at the end, and she's introducing the Jane Club. It's a group of women, mostly white, by the way. There's like a huge group of white women that look like they're bored LA housewives. And, but there's a bit in this at the end of this 2-minute clip that is just an eye roller, and it's, God, let's hope that things aren't going in this direction.
Hello, people of Earth. I have taken the microphone today from Mr. Paul Scheer to take over this How Did This Get Made mini episode. As you all know, I don't traffic in the minis. I've only come on a mini a few times to talk about things that I really do care about. I don't know what a regular mini sounds like. I don't know what Jason and Paul are up to on their minis. And
what is a mini?
Just the short. The mini is, they have a podcast. They either have a long version that goes an hour and a half or a half-hour version. So the half-hour version is the mini.
Let me guess. Do they also use the word pod? We're doing this on the pod.
I can't say that they don't, but let's continue.
Talk about things that I really do care about. I don't know what a regular mini sounds like. I don't know what Jason and Paul are up to on their minis. And to be quite honest, I don't care to know. But today, I'm here on a mini talking with two incredible women who I have had the honor of knowing, working with, and creating a business with over the last few years.
All right.
You may have heard me mention once or twice the community I co-founded, the Jane Club, but until now, I have kept these two women out of the spotlight, out of fear that once people know about them, their careers would skyrocket and they would leave the startup life for the compensation and dignity of a Fortune 500 company. And I will introduce these phenomenal women in one moment, but I want to start out this mini the way we start out all of our gatherings at Jane. How did this get made, listeners? My name is June. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I want to start our conversation today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land upon which I am on in my home, the Tongva tribe, and their elders past and present. And as so many of our listeners are listening, folding their laundry, on walks with their dogs, all over this country, I want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this country, the indigenous peoples and their elders, past and present. I also want to name that today my highest intention is that my words and language do not cause harm to my guests or to those listening in. And I will be holding that intention throughout this conversation. And I will also stand in feedback if I fall short of those intentions I just laid out.
Oh, man, I'm so glad I went for the Trump Platinum Card Club. This thing sounds bad. She will stand in. What did she say at the end there? That was kind of interesting. That was a term.
She'll accept if she's insulted you.
Yes.
Because she has no intention of doing so.
No, clearly.
And makes a statement about that. She will be willing to listen to your feedback.
But she says something else. Stand in. Can I just play the last bit?
Cause harm to my guests or to those listening in. And I will be holding that intention throughout this conversation. And I will also stand in feedback if I fall short of those intentions I just laid out.
I will stand in feedback if those intentions fall short. Okay.
Yeah, she'll stand in feedback. I don't know what that means. Some code. It's code. A lot of this stuff is code. I just found this, by the way, the Tongva Indians, which is a group of tribes that used to be really, not really a concise group, is a group of tribes. In fact, they've already been kind of honored by half of Southern California. Cucamonga is like named after one of their little subgroups. They never really got together. Tahunga, Kajunga, all these crazy names down in Southern California that you can't pronounce are all Topanga, All these names are all from these little groups because this tribe never fell together. And they actually came from Nevada. I did some work listening to this. Who are these people? They actually came from Nevada as an Indian tribe and rousted a real group that was the indigenous tribes that were really there originally. And they kicked them out. And then they couldn't get along with each other, so they found all these little villages, which are all named after these various parts of Southern California.
What does this Jane Club do? I still don't quite understand what they do.
You're looking at it, right?
Yeah, of course. I still don't get it.
It's a coffee. I'm going to say it, ladies. Close your ears. It's a coffee clatch.
It's Are You a Jane? Membership start at just $40 a month. You get weekly Jane curation. Oh, here we go. A newsletter of all things Janes are passionate about. Community, feminism, activism, motherhood. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's working for some people. Just seems...
If you look at the leaders of the group, there's two people of color, which are the two people that she has on her podcast.
Yeah.
And everybody else is just a classic white... just a standard bunch of people, some whiter than others.
You should probably bring it to your next Black Lives Matter meeting so that they can get all over this and shame these women.
About these Janes.
Diversity and inclusion. Seems like a big virtue signaling coffee clutch to me. That's what I would say.
Virtue signaling coffee clutch.
Well,
exactly.
It's quite disturbing.
It's very disturbing.
But I might join. It's $40 a month is too much.
They will take men.
Okay.
Can you imagine?
We've got Nick the Rat coming up on noagendastream.com right after the show ends. We have
speaking of coffee clutches.
Right. We have Jesse Coy Nelson end of show mix. We have a Jason Lewis and Sir Chris, Brilliant Minds Think Alike. I guess he missed the Cats in the Cradle, the first version. He did a version that only Sir Chris Wilson could do, so of course we will play that. And coming to you from Opportunity Zone 33 here in Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. We are on FEMA region number 6, in case you're looking for it on the governmental maps. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, known as the Big Whopper Coffee Clutch, I'm John C. Dvorak.
Remember us at Dvorak.org/NA for Sunday's show. We look forward to deconstructing with you. Until then, as always, adios, mofos, and such. Rest in peace, Eddie.
And then it kept escalating. So, in the beginning I was cajoling, and then I began being more forceful. And at a certain point, 45 minutes in, I called a halt to the debate and for a moment and said, and the president said, and I felt like I had baked this beautiful, delicious cake.
Beautiful. Yum.
And it was only 45 minutes in that I realized what just a total mess and disservice this was to the country, and to try to stop it. But as I say, I do want to say, though, it is the first debate I've ever seen where there was a bug crawling around on one candidate's head for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I don't think we can let this evening go without mentioning that.
8 p.m., day after debate, I throw some clothes on in the dark. Can't smell my food, sniffles and sneezing. Biden sleeping, I feel dumb. Up the stairs, onto this jet plane. Hope is palled up on the couch. We've got this fun, razor in Jersey. I hope the press don't find this out. And we fly. Now that I have caught COVID, I'm feeling more alone than I ever have before. I caught COVID, won't someone bleach me on a copter, and I'm headed to Walter Reed. I caught COVID, won't someone bleach me?
And so I'm just walking, minding my business. I've got no mask.
No mask on.
And there's a lady coming from the opposite direction. Check it out. She's masked up. Masked up. Masked up. She's got a baby stroller with 2 dogs in the stroller and 1 dog walking next to the stroller. And she sees me. She gets off of the sidewalk onto the street to go around me.
I went for a walk just the other day, decided to go my usual way. There were neighbours to greet, hellos to say, but for some crazed jerk it wasn't okay. I see her glaring eyes over the top of her mask saying, people gonna be killed by you, sir. People going to die because of you. And the dog's in the stroller and the mask is on. The craze in the eyes shows the amygdala's swollen. There's not enough oxygen going to her brain. Our world has gone insane, boy. You know the world has gone insane. I went for a beer at my local bar, decided to walk cause it wasn't too far, but there she was, close behind, yelling stuff like, we're all gonna die! She used a big stick to block my path, saying people have been killed by you, sir. Our world has gone insane, boy. You know our world has gone insane.
Dogs in the stroller?
With dogs in the stroller.
Dog in the stroller.
It's out of control.
The best podcast in the universe.
Adios, mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Now he's drugged up.
This is Nick the Rat, and I love the No Agenda stream, the best podcast, information, and entertainment stream in all streamdoms. There's a lot of streams out there, but this is the best.
Podcast around the clock. This is the No Agenda stream.
I'll bite, Judd. What's the bottom of the truth?
Well, sometimes that is better. The person you put up there ain't the person that comes back. It may look like that person, but it ain't that person. Because whatever lives in the ground beyond that cemetery ain't human at all. was 4 or 5 days after Timmy's funeral when Margie Washburn seen Timmy walking up the road towards Yorkie's livery. As time went by, lots of folks saw Timmy walking back and forth. But it was Margie who finally came to some of us men folks and said it had to be stopped. She knew it was an abomination. So us men sat down and talked it out. Then we got into my car and went over to Bateman Place to take care of it. One way or the other.
Yeah, there's no other way. He's got to burn.
Stop it! Timmy, stop it! Stop it!
The place is going up!
Go away!
Get on while you still can, Bill!
Bring down the cab.
Wait a minute, fellas, wait a minute. He's a monster, Bill!
Leave us alone! He's fine, son! Timmy, love, cat, and living! Come on, son! Timmy!
Louis, sometimes Dad is better.
It's true.
I'll bite, Judd.
It's true. This show is cursed.
What's the bottom of the truth?
Well,
This show is cursed, but we're not going to make everybody sit through that again. That was the 600th time we've heard that intro. Imagine just sitting there, listening to your least favorite podcast. You're like, I'll just listen to that podcast because there's nothing left. You're at the bottom of the barrel. You're like sitting there. You're I'm going to put this podcast on. And you hear the same thing 300 times in a row. That's just what happened, everybody. But something new is about to happen now. You're up to episode 250 of Nick the Rat Radio. I am Nick the Rat. We're coming to you live from the sewers of Brooklyn, New York. It is September 30th, 2020. And boy, oh boy, we've been celebrating Halloween for too long. It's starting to get to me. I think there's some scary stuff, spooky stuff happening. If you're watching this on Twitch, you might know what I'm talking about. There is a rapper that is selling French fries for some giant burger slinging corporation, and he's like a toy. He's like a plastic toy, and he's jumping around and dunking French fries into like juicy sauce. And he's made of plastic because he's like a toy, and he's a toy, and he's dunking food into plastic containers with 3D animated sauce. It's like Chucky. It's very scary stuff. If you're watching the video stream on Twitch, you know what I'm talking about. Wait, where are I'm Nick the Rat. We're having a podcast in the sewers of Brooklyn, New York. The date. We're just talking. We're doing another round of scary stories tonight. But wait, I know what's going on here. We have to pop open a beer. Tonight, I shall be partaking in a Sapporo Premium Black Beer. It's a juicy can. The can is juicy. And it doesn't sound like I have a gate on, so you're definitely going to hear this can popping. Thank God I didn't destroy all the computer equipment in the room. Okay, well, the show got off to a rough start. I'm trying to still settle myself here. It's a very wishy-washy thing. It's a yin and a yang. There's definitely many aspects of life where you feel like you're being pulled one way, and then you start getting pulled the other way, and you thought you were on a good wave. But that wave quickly crashes, and it's like, oh boy, we're all going to die. And we're doing scary stories this week, scary stories. So if you'd like to call and tell me a scary story or talk about a scary story, we could do that at 917-719-5923. And you could tell everybody a scary story. I was almost about to tell you about a scary story about unruly sound equipment and phones that make noises even though you told them not to. But we're not going to talk about that right now. Nobody sees me? Nobody sees me. See, the horror just keeps on continuing. This episode has cursed people. I'm kind of scared now. Okay, so I think I've tempted the gods of Halloween. I was taking a shower earlier, and I was in the shower, and I realized that this is great because this is the first time I could touch myself, and there's no mess to clean up. I'm clean. You could touch as much as you want, and it's actually better the more you touch. But in the shower, I was also questioning the whole, I don't know if it's Mercury, I think it's Earth is in retrograde. Then I was questioning scary stories and stuff and what makes a story scary. And I didn't think that there was many things left. I think the Greeks figured it all out already, and everything that could be done has already been done. And then there's weird combinations of things that might happen. And tonight's proven that. Because most scary stories is like, oh, you're going to die. There's a killer coming for you. He's going to stab you and you're going to die. Or there's a disease that you got and, oh, you're dying. Or the person that lives below you is secretly going to kill you and you're going to die. How many horrors do you hear where it's not about death and stuff? Well, tonight we're going to figure this out. And also, we also have a great show for you tonight on Nick the Rat Radio. If we make it through, I don't know. The whole studio might collapse on me tonight. Everything is just a little bit off-tilted tonight. But we're going to try to get through it. We have scary stories. I think Illuminati did not send part 2 of her story that she sent last week. But, we have a whole month to go. It's going to be an absolute banger. We have no news. We have phone calls. We have donations, and we also have a package. I got a package, everybody. I did get a package sent to me in the mail, and I had this whole experience at the post box office. But I'll tell you about that when we come back to more Nick the Rat. We have Andre Proniav with Luhabafakwan. I don't know. You can check it out on SoundCloud, though. Oh, man. Oh, that's a good song. I like that a lot there. You can hear all this music on SoundCloud. If you go to soundcloud.com/nicktherat/likes, I think it's all there. If it's not there, you could email me at nick@nicktherat.com and I will tell you where you could find it. But scary stories, everybody. We have a society that needs scary stories. Basically, if we didn't have spooky, scary stories to tell each other, then we wouldn't have any stories to tell each other. Because there's a little bit of fear in everything, I think. Is there? There's got to be. I think everything is. There's every emotion is connected to every other emotion. Like even if you're feeling greedy, greed has love, lust, fear, desire. I think language was put onto creatures to get them to build things together, but it's also in a prison. It's kind of like the words are building prisons around your mind. Now, could we evolve past this? I don't know. Let's listen to some voicemails and find out. Maybe 917-719-5923.
Hey, Nick the Rat. This is Cold Acid. So, I think there's a ghost in my house. I saw a ghost last night when I was going to bed after recording my show, and there was a ghost in the room that I use as my library. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is there a ghost in my house? Would you have any idea why there'd be a ghost in my house? Well, I guess someone did die here. That might have something to do with it. But I don't want to get rid of the ghost, but I want to make sure that he's a happy ghost because this ghost is probably related to me somehow. So I don't know what to do. Ghosts are not my forte. How about you?
Usually Old English is my forte. Sorry, here's a low-hanging fruit. I always go for those. If you have a ghost in your house, like a real one, you just make amends with it. Like, how many stories do you see where, like, like Lady Diana died in a car crash. Maybe she saw a ghost, or the driver saw a ghost, but there was no record of seeing the ghost. So try to live with it, but record it so people know that if you do die, like if you are in a horrible car crash because you're a beautiful princess that married somebody that nobody wanted you to marry, make sure you let people know that there's a ghost following you. Otherwise, you never know when you're going to get killed. You might die. Yeah, you need a dash cam. A ghost dash cam. Always record where you are. Ooh, now I would love to see that haunted dash cam videos. This is true, Blitzed. There's people's brains coming together. That's what I like about a podcast. It's a very connecting feeling, and you never know when some brain is going to connect to your brain and unlock a feeling that makes you. It adds to the feeling pool. It's like there's a pool. It's like a collective pool, kind of like Odo in Deep Space Nine, and he was a founder. And there's that pool that they all went into. That's what like feelings are like. But sometimes you get these weird people that throw weird feelings into that pool, but then it fucks up all your other feelings. Like the first time you watched a video of somebody getting their head chopped off, then now every time you look at like a rainbow or a sunflower, there's still that connection. There's like that sixth degree of Nicolas Cage that's going to make you see. I'm sorry, everybody. tonight's also going to be great because we're going to be rolling in October tonight. East Coast is going to hit it first for America. And there's going to be, if you're not in America right now, you might be celebrating Halloween right now. I have decorations all over the sewer. Currently, you can't see them because there's something going on. But I've got these pumpkins. They're great. Pumpkins are cool. You gotta admit it. They're gourds. Let's listen to another voicemail. You could leave one now at 917-719-5923.
Hey, Nick R. Just wanted to call Nick R. and talk to you for a second about your scare tactic, saying you were a globalist.
I am a
possibly
globalist.
Flew over many of the tired listeners' heads. But I just wanted to say that I was a former member and follower of the Jimmy Jones that was spoke of on the previous No Agenda podcast. And I actually got kicked out of the cult for cutting in the Kool-Aid line. So tell your globalist fucks to, yeah. Anyway, thanks for taking my call, Nick R. I'll talk to you later, Nick R.
Globalism
Adios.
is awesome. Like, who's going to tell you that globalism is bad? People that don't like the globe? What do you think the globe doesn't exist? Come on, we all know the globe exists. It's a round ball. It's got these things in it. If you don't believe that the globe exists, you've got big issues. We got bigger problems on this planet than, even flat earthers. Like, look, these Kool-Aid Nazis kicked them out. Flat Earth. It's Tommy Anonymous in the chat is speaking truth up here. If you're in the chat room on Zero Node, you could see, or I think it even combines with Twitch. I think who did that? Noid Zero. It was a Nodebit, I think. Thank you, Nodebit, for your courage. Maybe we should listen to another song over here. We have scary stories coming up. Trust me. There are scary stories coming. There's also going to be phone calls. People are going to call in. You can call right now and leave a voicemail. I'll play them. Or you can email me at nick@nicktherat.com. Or I have a P.O. box at, I think it's Nick at P.O. Box 9549.
You are listening to the No Agenda stream, where freedom lives and censorship comes to get its ass kicked.
Join hands. I ask forbearance. I ask you to suspend your disbelief and imagine your minds floating in the darkness of time. Let your imaginations be liberate and roam with me back in time to the ancient seas, back in time to the time before when the spirits walked, when the sun was new and the old gods walked. I call forth unto Mother Goddess. I call to the speakers of the dead. Come to me. Come to me.
Somebody, come to her. God damn it already. Come to her. Welcome to episode 250 of the only podcast that comes to you from the sewers of Brooklyn, New York. There might be some other sewer podcasts out there, but let me tell you, they're half-assed compared to this one. This is the #1 sewer podcast you get, at least in Brooklyn, that I know of. Tonight we have a very special episode. We're going to be taking a little adventure. Now, you might be like, Nick, you're in a sewer. How are you going to take an adventure? Well, that's the trick. That's the magic trick here that we're going to do. Because I have... the world is so PC today, I have to make sure I say this right. My newscaster, he's an alien. Okay? So I'm going to be sending an alien to a cemetery to work at night. There's a close-by cemetery, Greenwood Cemetery. It's a big, famous cemetery. And I sent Zindu out there because there's been no god darn news at all. So he's there live tonight. I don't know if we're going to be... Diane, is the satellite link up? We're going to have to work on that, though. We're going to work on it, because if we don't have Zindu by satellite, then basically we don't have a show. But we're going to try to... He said he knew somebody in the cemetery, and they're letting him in, so that should be no problem. And he's going to do a seance there. He's going to try to talk to the dead for us. Because if he doesn't, then he's not going to get a paycheck. Right, Diane? Make sure that's in the contract. Okay. I think she knows. I think he knows, too. He signed it. We usually start off every episode of Nick the Rat by cracking a beer, but tonight I have some tequila and pina colada and seltzer. But I didn't want to break tradition either, so I got me a Guinness as well that's properly shooken up. Let's destroy the show. Oh, jeez. Okay. I think we just saved the show. Oh dear! I just realized something. Okay, so tonight's going to be a little bit different because we're going to do seances. We're going to have people calling in with questions for the dead, and Zindu will be contacting them. And this is all going to be working tonight, right, Diane? Okay. I think we're going to jump straight to the music right now. I think we have some technical difficulties happening in the sewer, but that's fine. It's also getting hot down here. Can somebody open a valve? Let's start the night off with a little happy synthwave track by Wall Menace. Hopefully this will get us in the mood, and we'll be going off to the cemetery soon, right? This better work.
hot steam directly in my skull cave.
That was a tasty tune. Right there is a tasty tune. Who's that by? Wall Menace, Happy Synthwave track. All this music, you can find it on SoundCloud /NickTheRat/likes or like/NickTheRat. It's all CC BY 3.0. It's all free. So they say on SoundCloud. Who knows if it actually is? Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling a little off tonight. Yeah, last night I digested a few edibles, and boy oh boy, I fell asleep, and I think I just woke up a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, I think this is exactly where I went to sleep, was right in this position. And I think right before I ate the edible, there was an Amber Alert. There was like I heard every phone in New York City going beep 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 beep. I don't even know the noise. It's more like that. Is that just in New York? Is that across the country? Is that what they is that what it sounds? Does it sound like in California as well? The Amber Alerts. Well, do they even have amber, or is it different colors for different different zip codes? It's very hard to tell what is a localized thing sometimes. Kind of like how they call soda pop or sody or sippy stuff or sugar water, and depending on where you are located. And if you grow up with that one word and you're only in that local area, that's all you really know. But whatever happened, Diane? What happened with that Amber Alert? There's no meh with an update. Yeah, why don't they update Amber Alerts? They have all these Amber Alerts are going off, and it's on everybody's phone, and everybody's like looking at each other. Like if you're in a group of people, remember those days? And an Amber Alert goes off. Everybody's phones pop off at the same time. It's just like it's like you're in a club, and everybody's part of it. But they never post updates. They're like, little girl in white van. We're looking for a white van. White van is little girl missing. White van. But they never say little girl found. White van demolished. It's very one-sided, these Amber Alerts. There needs to be follow-ups. I think there should definitely be, if everybody in the world is getting and it's waking you up, or maybe you're trying to get it on with yourself, and the phone starts making that noise, and you think your parents might be coming in, so you have to drop the phone, and you don't know what's going on, and the cops might be swinging through your window, and you're naked because you're watching some furry porn. Why aren't there updates for these things? And also, if this be an Amber Alert, why not add to it with pictures? Like, there should be a picture of the white van. Like, here is what this white van looks like, or this is what the kid that was missing looks like. It's like, oh, we got all this great technology, but they only choose to use this much of it, and all the rest is eaten up by the corporations and giant money demons. And this is why Nick the Rat is a globalist, everybody. Happy Halloween. I've been getting a little stirs out of some people because I said I was a globalist. So I think I'm going to keep on that path. It's fun. It's weird when people say certain things. It gets people to go all crazy. Ghoul blaster. Like when celebrities come out and endorse politicians, it's sometimes you shouldn't really give your opinion on things that don't really matter to the public. It's imagine trying to tell somebody which religion they should follow, or telling them that you're a globalist because it's better for everybody, especially if I'm in control. No, I mean there would be nobody in control of the globalist society. I'll talk more about that later. Maybe we should go to a. Is the satellite linked up yet? All right, we're gonna listen to a voicemail. It looks like we have a whole bunch from one number. What is going on here? What is this?
Nick, Hey, talking about your show, I'm not hypercritical, but I have participated and partaken of several multiple speech enhancement, speech therapy, doctored level therapy, speech therapy. So,
It sounds like it's working. I understood.
I might provide some insight, or perhaps your stillfish spearwater friend, the spearwater stillfish guy, might give you some stillfish advice as well. I believe he has also partaken in some therapeutic education for teaching fellow speakers how to enunciate better, such as black leather, blue leather, purple leather,
Whoa, is he giving out?
yellow leather.
All right, let's. Those are probably codes to start like an attack in Korea somewhere. Hopefully in the bad Korea, and I'll let you choose whichever one you think that would be. Because I try not to have an opinion on this show. I think people used to love opinions, but now I think people love no opinions. So let's try not to have opinions on the show. Because it's the most fun thing to listen to. Somebody without any opinions. We like that. Especially in the New World Order. Looks like we have some more voicemails here. Let's see what we got here.
Hey, Nick, you're just jamming here after the show. I'm chilling, trying to give you a call, but it goes straight to voicemail. I hope your computer's not broken. I'll try again. I love you, Nick.
Oh.
Mwah.
Well, I love you too, but please, take me off your speed dial. No, I'm joking. You can call as much as I want. I'll play all your voicemails, even if I turn them off when you're trying to give out government codes and secret launch spy stuff. We try not to. Is the satellite working? Okay, look. It's going to work, people. There's been a lot of weird stuff happening out there, and I don't know what's in retrograde. There's going to be two full moons this month. It's been really nice weather outside lately. It's a nice autumn, fall stuff. Why is it autumn? Shouldn't autumn be in the summer with August? I have all these questions, and I can't. I don't know how to answer all of them. I can't answer all of them. You know, and some questions shouldn't be made to be answered or something. Let's autumn is so hot right now. Let's play some more music. We're gonna come back. We're gonna maybe we'll do the thank you segment, and then if it doesn't work. And then, it's going to work. I'm getting a nod. It says, it looks like the satellite link is working. But we're going to do it after we do a round of donation thanks. I got a package here. I can't wait to open it. Stephen Hendricks with Cash to Burn. welcome back to Nick the Rat, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. We're gonna run through donations right now. I think that's what we're gonna do. Let me get out the donation machine. Let's see what we got. This show is sponsored by viewers like you, and also by giant mega corporations that sponsor the scientists down in the sewer to perform crazy experimentations on mostly helpless little animals like me. We're making a living down here, and it's usually because of sponsors like you, not the giant corporations that just kind of steal our data and touch me in places that I can't untouch. Let's. I don't like to dox people. If you would like to donate to the show, you could go to nicktherat.com, click on donate, and you could send me some money through PayPal. You could. There's also a Redbubble. You could buy some merch there. I've been putting stickers up there, even though I've been. Jeez. Or you could go to Twitch and subscribe on there with your Amazon Prime for free. But let's see if we got any donations this week. I don't like to dox people, so if you put a note, I'll read the note. But if you don't put a note,